at your feet. How I wish that I could see Tata and Nana smiling at me in that old tin house by the sea. In that old tin house by the sea.
The link. Here on Breeze 93.9 FM.
Antulaika hinasomu saohi tiparon dinguzu neni no yumagi nigui naizamu zondala chupara joni. Unayola osmu Aizensela pemu Loki esta Sinyapai utu guido Neni no yumagi Ni guida zamu Zondala chupara joni. So if you ever change your mind about leaving me behind, oh, when they bring it to me, bring your sweet loving, bring it all home to me, yeah, oh yeah, 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 yeah. I know I left when you left, but I know now I only hurt myself. Oh, when they bring it to me, bring your sweet loving, bring it all home to me, yeah, 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 yeah. You know I'll always be a slave till I marry you again. Oh, when they bring it to me, bring your sweet loving, bring it all home to me, yeah, 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 yeah. Pues pindi loku nati doku ni guinifi. Satoza no suseri taguini Ipon pangu zugi maigohu Sama lagu zubai queen to see Sama lagu zubai queen to see Sama lagu zubai queen to see.
Cosinha uli di sombranza tanmak e zuita saluda antes di niga Razzauzan malak estrezas durante todo il memu a nogi distancia como kupugi palu Zangiman malak guafi Ikonum nasugi airi Prebatu la noci Nai banderata caighi Pues Fanny bandera kau esta pagua pumalala giluk tanu man libri sentami ti man ko badi.
Fanogi chamoru Puritanota Kantai matunonya gitoru iluga Paraiona Parai gloria Abiba isla senpara Paraiona, Parai gloria, Abiba isla senpara. Toru I tempo I paz, paraita, zangini na bendition. Contra perigo na avança fuam Deus proteis landon Contra perigo na avança fuam Deus proteis landon.
Oh,
come and get your love, come and get your love now. Come and get your love, come and get your love, come and get your love now. Come and get your love, come and get your love, come and get your love now. Come and get your love. 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 Hey, hey, what's the matter if you feel right? Don't you feel right, baby? Hey, hey, oh yeah. Get on the main line, alright. La 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 la. Come and get your love.
Good morning, Guam! Viva Lunes! Good morning, Sabrina.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jason Solis.
Somebody caught the golden egg this weekend.
Oh, yeah, you know I did. I'm all about that golden chata. 6:18. It's Monday. Welcome to this episode of The Link, April 5th. Wow, already April. Have you guys had that conversation yet? Like, oh my God, is April already?
Yep. Well, and like they say, April showers. It's been raining.
That's right. It has been. It looks like we're going to get a little bit of rain hot today, but, you know, don't take our word for it. We actually have a professional that comes in on Mondays. Landon and I led from the National Weather Service. Yeah. Hey, we a little bit of a switch up here, guys. Well, it's a big switch up.
Oh, boy.
Bree. KUAM TV. We're normally on KUAM TV right now, but we're not. So if you're watching KUAM TV and we're not there, that's why. But if you're watching KUAM TV and we're not there, you might not know we're not there, and that's why. So you got to come over here. We got our Facebook live stream.
You can also listen to us though on
Yeah.
Channel 10.
Audio.
Mo Channel 10.
Right on. And then we're on here on the Breeze, 93.9 FM. And then 8 o'clock, we jump on to KUAM TV. And as always, it's going to be a great show here. Happy Easter on you guys. Hope you had a great Easter. I'm just going to say, y'all didn't have to have 50 people at your Easter gathering. I was feeling inadequate over the weekend. Like, wow, do I even know 50 people? But just going around
That
yesterday.
don't work here.
Right. Just going around yesterday, people definitely took advantage of the new social gathering rules, which is social gatherings up to 50 people. It looked like kind of like a normal Easter, I want to say.
Happy Easter to all our online viewers that
That's
are
right,
celebrating
yeah.
Easter today.
Who are
yeah.
still celebrating. Hallelujah. Christ is risen.
In the States. Happy Easter on you.
Hey, I got a late Easter present for you guys. I prepared like a little virtual Easter basket for you, Chris and Bree. Mike, if you can screen share me. This is a picture I found on a Facebook group. And check this out. This is from my friend Brian Gooseby, right? He is a flight attendant. He's been at United/Continental for a super long time. He's been there ever since like the 90s. Really, really good volleyball player for GW way back in 1988. He's a phenomenal beach player. But he actually took this when he was on a flight. And look at that shot of Tumon Bay, you guys.
Wow.
You see that all the way down to, you can see the Subaki Tower. You see.
I could see the manta rays from here.
Yeah. But that's Brian. So thanks, Brian, for taking that, man. That's a great
Was that
shot.
this morning?
No, this was a couple days ago, so I got this from the Facebook group. But yeah, Brian, really, really good guy. Yeah, so Brian Gooseby, thank you.
Right on. Good morning. It's 6:20. The show is brought to you by East West Rental, Cowboy Enterprises, IT&E, Carrier for all my Aircon babies at 647 Cool, and Jack in the Box. Where, guys, Fishy Fridays out the door. I mean, if you still want to do Fishy Friday, it's on you. But you can meet it out now. And you can do that with the Triple Bonus Jack. It's back, a returning favorite. Jack's Triple Bonus Jack combo is everything you need to indulge. Add a patty. Hey, Lent's over, add 5 patties. Make it a quad for $1 more. Thank you very much for jumping on board Jack in the Box. And here's who's coming up on the show. Our Monday check-in with the Mayor's Council of Guam President, Mayor Jesse Alec. There was a bunch of stuff that the mayors did for Easter, right? Was it like a lot of drive-thrus?
Yeah, I mean, you sent all of this stuff on the chat, so.
Pretty cool. Then we're getting Vanessa Williams, the Cannabis Control Board chair, the rules and regs done where they need to go. What's the next step? We'll find out. Landon Eilert, we're switching things up again. So he normally comes on at 6:45, but because we flipped the whole TV thing, he'll be coming in when we do our 8 o'clock newscast. Dave Delasola, Labor Director, what's in store for the next round of PUA? How many people are going to be on it if we're reopening the island and everyone's going back to work? Sergeant Paul Tapao, the Guam Police Department. Obviously, there was a homicide in Umatic over the weekend, Sabrina.
Yeah, they're classifying it as an expired death investigation, but they did arrest 2 people for murder.
So she's going to have more on that in the newscast. We'll be talking about that, too, as the show goes on here. Lillian Posadas, hospital administrator. What's going on with GMH as we crawl out of COVID and rise up and walk normal again? We'll find out. And then we're going to jump on a little stream of, what is this?
A virtual proclamation signing for, was it Bree,
National Public Health Week.
Yeah. And if there is anything we should celebrate, it should be public health.
Right on. So that's what's happening. And then we're debuting a great segment that we have for Earth Month. Every week, we're going to be doing what we call dirty politics. Dun, dun, dun! Tell us a little bit about the dirty politics segment, Bree.
You were there.
I know.
Yeah. So we went and visited an illegal dump. It's not just one specific area. It's one street, but it's like the entire street. Many of you have probably seen it because we've done plenty of stories on it. It's Chalon Ramirez in Jigo. And we went there a couple weeks ago, I think, with the mayor and Guam EPA, as well as Senator Sabina Perez, who is the oversight chair of Guam EPA. So we went and did a tour, just a mini tour of the area, and then talked about some of the solutions and just this problem that just continues to persist in that area and in other areas of Guam. So you'll get a chance to see the piece a little later in our show today. And we went to other areas. We went with Senator Clint Rigel to a cleanup that he did pre-COVID in 2019 in Dededo. So we'll have that next week.
Right on. That's what we're doing for Earth Month. Yes, Jason Solis.
How many people do you guys know from the great state of North Dakota?
Absolutely none.
Well, we have.
Oh, no. Take it back. There's someone who jumps on our Facebook live feed.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we have 2 people joining us from North Dakota.
Oh, wow.
We got Raymond McGravy and the comments. Well, we also have another member of the Link family joining us from Bismarck, North Dakota. Also Mount Vernon, Washington, checking in. And guys, it is a member of the Link fam's birthday today. So we want to say happy birthday to Brown Sugar Tea.
Oh, nice.
It's T's birthday today.
Let's go. You guys ready for Brown Sugar Tea? And also, it's my sister's birthday, Cassie, in the States, in Florida.
Yeah, right.
She's in Florida,
birthday.
so here we go. You ready? 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Brown Sugar Tea and Cassie. And everyone else whose birthday it is today.
Oh, man.
Happy birthday to you. May the dear Lord bless you. May the dear Lord bless you. May the dear Lord bless Brown Sugar Tea,
my sister Cassie, and everyone else whose birthday is today.
Big finish. Happy birthday to you. Feedback.
Right
Happy
on.
birthday, everybody.
Yep, it's 6:25. On that note, that off-key note,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and slip into the news here with the very latest from the KUAM news team. Good morning, Sabrina Salas-Mantanani.
Off a day, everybody. A Umatic couple with criminal histories were arrested in connection to the death of former Umatic Mayor Daniel Sanchez. On Sunday morning, Rudy Kanata was arrested for murder. Later in the afternoon, 32-year-old Joyner Scott Sked was also arrested. She was arrested for murder, aggravated assault as a second-degree felony, and use of a deadly weapon in the commission of a felony. Sked has a criminal history. In November of last year, she was charged with child abuse as a misdemeanor. She was arrested after a toddler was found walking unattended through a neighborhood in Sinajana. Prior to that, in April 2020, she was arrested and charged along with Rudy Kanata for family violence when police responded to an incident in Umatic. Kanata, as reported, is also a repeat violent offender. He has a criminal history dating all the way back to the 80s when he was convicted of manslaughter for the death of a U.S. Marine. The former mayor's body was found at Kanata's home. Both were booked and confined. The CDC over the weekend put out new guidelines. It states that fully vaccinated people can resume domestic travel and do not need to get tested before or after travel or self-quarantine after travel. Fully vaccinated people do not need to get tested before leaving the U.S. unless required by the destination or self-quarantine after arriving back in the United States. There's no word on whether Guam will implement these new CDC guidelines. The Joint Information Center reports out of 104 test samples taken on April 3rd, 0 came back positive for COVID. This brings the total of officially reported cases of COVID to 7,816 since March of last year. 31 cases are active. More than 7,600 people have recovered. To date, there have been a total of 136 COVID-related deaths. The CAR score remains at 0.2. As far as vaccination numbers, a total of 32,177 are fully vaccinated on Guam. COVID-19 vaccination clinics continue Tuesday, April 6th to Saturday, April 17th from 12 to 6:30 p.m. at the UOG Calvo Fieldhouse. You are asked to bring a digital or hard copy appointment confirmation, a photo ID, and proof of Guam residency. Those due for their second dose are reminded to bring their COVID-19 immunization card. To schedule an appointment, log on to tinyurl.com/vaccinategU APR6 through APR17. Now, there's also a vaccination clinic, a village vaccination clinic in Mongmongtotu Maitsi. It is available for residents against 16 years and older. It is from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. or while supplies last at the MTM Mayor's Office. To register for the clinic, if you are bedbound, have limited mobility, and want to schedule a homebound vaccination, you're urged to call the MTM Mayor's Office at 477-6758 or 477-9090. They are offering the Pfizer vaccine, doses 1 and 2. Now, if you wish to get tested, COVID-19 community testing will be held today at the old Carnival Grounds in Tidzin from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Public Health will offer up to 150 COVID tests on a first-come, first-served basis. Only 4 people per vehicle are allowed to be tested. You don't need to have symptoms. Just bring a photo ID. And with more news, here is Peter Santos.
Confident good morning, everyone. I'm Peter Santos with your headlines here on The Link. About 40% of active duty military personnel have now been vaccinated. The military has launched phase 2 of its COVID-19 vaccination program, and Rear Admiral John Manoni says eligibility has been expanded to all DoD beneficiaries that are 18 years and older.
That's everybody that is a beneficiary of Naval Hospital or 36 Medical Group can go get a vaccine as long as they meet the age and health requirements.
Vaccinations are being administered at the Naval Hospital Vaccination Clinic Monday through Friday at the top of the Mar on Nimitz Hill. Walk-ins are accepted from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. for the second dose COVID-19 vaccines and 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. and 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. for the first dose. Bring a DoD identification card and an immunization card for those getting their second dose. No word yet on when the third economic impact payments will be out. Revenue Tax and the U.S. Treasury Department are still working to get an agreement approved. The good news is Guam will be getting almost as much money as the first 2 stimulus rounds combined. Here's more.
Revenue and Taxation Director Daphne Shimizu could not give a specific date for when the first EIP-3 payments will be out. She says it's all contingent upon getting the green light from Treasury.
From the time that the plan is approved, within a couple of weeks, we should be able to get payments out to our people. And of course, we target to try to get payments in well before then. But, again, there is some level of testing that's involved with our programming. And of course, there is the transfer of the funding from the Treasury that also has to happen.
She says they expect to work through the weekend and hope to hammer out a deal by early next week. And while a specific date for payments cannot be confirmed, Shimizu can confirm that GovGuam will receive a larger sum than each of the previous 2 rounds.
What's exciting is that we actually were approved for about $200 million in EIP-3 payments, and that's huge for us because that's about the same amount of money that we had actually paid out for both EIP 1 and 2 so far. So we paid about $230 million in EIP 1 and 2. We were approved for about $200 million. So again, that's hugely exciting.
The assistance phases out at lower income levels. The income ceilings are $80,000 for a single filer, $120,000 for a head of household, and $160,000 for joint filers. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
With regional headlines, here's KSPN2 News.
Hafa-Day Guam, here are the headlines for CNMI.
This cut has disproportionately impacted a certain group of employees who, despite the hours being cut, continue to come and work 80 hours, if not more, right, without complaining.
Employees of the Commonwealth Ports Authority have been on reduced hours since the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. But starting at the end of April, all 203 employees of CPA will be resuming work at 72 hours biweekly.
In light of the central government going back to 80 hours, I've asked management to kind of look at our financial situation, to do an assessment, basically, compiling all these different funding sources that we're getting and our projected revenues, to see if it would be possible to restore at a minimal 8 hours back to the employees.
Currently, CPA employees are at 64 hours biweekly, but due to federal funding, Chairwoman Kimberly King Hines says there will be enough money to add the additional 8 hours.
Assuming basically that that we can still extend the continued rent abatement, airline incentives as it relates to enplanement, deplanement, and landing fees, and be able to operate using those federal funds to pay our debt, our operations, our utilities, and our personnel. And so based on our comptroller's analysis, we are able to do that, assuming that we get all these funds that have been allocated under the CARE, the CRISA grant, and the American Rescue Plan.
Although all board members approved,
please say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion carried.
Hines says the additional hours will not go into effect until CPA receives all the funding into their account.
That restoration would require that the funds are allocated and certified, being in CPA's control.
CPA has received $22 million from the CARES Act, $5.6 million from the CRISA grant, and will be receiving $9 million from the American Rescue Plan.
Based on the analysis, we can go 2 more fiscal years using those funds to be able to service our debt, pay our personnel, and our operations.
For more news, visit saipantv.com. For KSPN2, I'm Ashley McDowell.
That's the news for now. We'll see you all at 6 tonight on Primetime.
And that's your news. For more, go to KUAM.com and stay tuned for more on The Link after the break.
The world of television.
When we throw things away, where is away? What happens to our waste, and where does it go? As a community of small islands, the waste crisis is a large issue we want to bring into focus. Micronesia Climate Change Alliance presents From Our Nanas for Our Nennies, a video series about taking a holistic view of our present, finding wisdom from our past, and inspiring a better future. Airing every week during Earth Month, brought to you by Humanities Guahan and the National Endowment for the Humanities.
Avenue Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Only one company on Guam provides every solar energy solution under one roof. Micronesia Renewable Energy. You want solar only? They got that. You want solar with batteries? They got that too. You want outright purchase or lease purchase? It's up to you. Does your solar system need a tune-up? That's what they do. For solar energy solutions from A to Z, you can count on MRE. Give them a call at 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, providing real solar solutions built by real solar experts.
The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage, with generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by the Bank of Guam and KFC.
Uno Go, delivering meals from your favorite restaurants and more, including delivering sodas and adult beverages from the Bottle Shack. Visit uno-go.com or download the app today. Also follow them on Instagram and Facebook.
Looking for TV schedules, upcoming sports, or special presentations, or what you may have missed over the busy week you had? Well, look no further than KUAM Digital Digest. This weekly emailed newsletter puts all kinds of information in the hands of subscribers each and every week. Just subscribe and we will make sure you keep up with your favorites and stay informed and entertained throughout it all. Go to KUAM.com, click on the newsletter tab, give us your email address, and you are all set. Brought to you in digital partnership with King's Restaurant and Ruby Tuesday Guam. It's the KUAM Digital Digest, your weekly guide to the latest information and best entertainment on the stations and platforms of KUAM.
It's Dirty Politics Weekly on the Link, live on location. Every week, Chris and Sabrina will interview different political leaders out in the field to address environmental problems in our community. See firsthand how illegal dumps, littering, and other issues are plaguing our beautiful island and what's being done to help. Part of our Sustainability Matters campaign for Earth Month, in partnership with the University of Guam Center for Island Sustainability and Guam Green Growth. Presented by Green Energy Solutions, Inc. Reduce before you produce. GESI.
This year, the Think Green Annual Cleanup goes virtual. Organize your community cleanup, post and tag with hashtag ThinkGreenGuam on social media. And we'll share your cleanup in our multimedia platforms and in a special montage on KUAM News Weekend Edition during the last weekend in April. Sustainability matters, part of the KUAM Care Force's commitment to our community. In partnership with the University of Guam Center for Island Sustainability and Guam Green Growth. Presented by Green Energy Solutions, Inc. Reduce before you produce. GESI. Special thanks to Micronesian Brokers, Inc.
Through the month of April, KUAM News and the KUAM Care Force features Sustainability Matters, building awareness for environmental issues, highlighting activists, and showcasing businesses and individuals making a difference in our community. Watch a special series on Mondays on KUAM News featuring different aspects of thinking green in our community. Awareness messages on every platform, giving you tips for leading a more sustainable lifestyle. The Dirty Politics Weekly feature with the link live on location with Chris and Sabrina, visiting different villages with political leaders and addressing environmental problems in our community. And this year, the Think Green Annual Cleanup goes virtual. Organize your community cleanup, post and tag with hashtag ThinkGreenGuam, and we'll feature your cleanup on our multimedia platforms and in a special montage on KUAM News Weekend Edition during the last weekend in April. Sustainability matters, part of the KUAM Care Force's commitment to our community. In partnership with the University of Guam Center for Island Sustainability and Guam Green Growth. Presented by Green Energy Solutions, Inc. Reduce before you produce. GESI.
Mommy tries her best, but shadows don't translate. I tell my sister Rosie, how much more can I take? I need to fly away, I gotta fly away.
Hey, welcome back. That's Ellery Sablon, the daughter of our friend Greg and his lovely wife. Great song, Birdie Bye Bye at 6:41.
My sister clad in yellow, hiding clouds of her own.
Is that new?
Dissipates the dark that tries to swallow me whole.
No, it's not like new. I mean, it's new, but it's not like new. It's still got a little bit of that new music smell. 6:41. Morning, Sabrina.
Good morning.
Morning, Jay.
Good morning. You know where it's a really good morning? In Gonzaga, Washington. Did you guys catch the end of that game yesterday? Did you guys even hear about it?
Nope.
Okay. I'm a big sports guy.
Obviously.
Yeah. That and I love March Madness. I love the NCAA tournament. That's probably the best game I've seen in 15 years, and I watched a lot of college basketball. Best game since 2005 national championship game when North Carolina beat Illinois, who had a really, really good squad that year. But, man, to say the number one team in the tournament got taken to the wire and in overtime by the upstart UCLA team, and it was a buzzer-beating three-pointer by a true freshman.
Wow.
That took them down. I mean, that
So
game,
who won?
Gonzaga won. So our friend Tony Babalta's really, really happy this morning.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it's a good morning for Tony.
All right, that
Great
sounds
game.
pretty awesome. A buzzer-beating three-pointer.
Yeah. As
a
the clock,
freshman.
yeah, as the clock went, like I was on Snapchat with friends of mine. I was on Twitter, just.
So is it over?
No, it's the championship game is going to be on KUM TV, and that we're going to have that for you. It is Gonzaga versus Baylor, and that is a battle of two behemoths. Those two teams are really, really good.
A battle of the behemoths. A battle between the basketball behemoths.
There you go.
Buzzer-beating baskets in a battle of the basketball behemoths.
The Clash of the Titans. Okay, speaking of Titans, Chris, did you finally watch Godzilla vs. Kong?
I did, yeah.
What'd you think?
That was awesome. Great movie to see in the movie theater. Huge, you know what I mean? We do have a couple more tickets to give away from our friends at Tango Theaters. What'd you think, though, Jay? Did it recapture that? Because I know that wasn't really our generation, the Godzilla, but it was playing a lot when we were growing up.
Yeah, and the original King Kong vs. Godzilla came out in 1962, but they
Right.
would show it very often on syndicated TV when we were growing up.
Yeah.
I mean, is it the greatest movie ever made? Certainly not. I mean, is it a great watch? I think so. And personally, I thought it was. I mean, it's a fun time.
It is what it is.
I thought it was, as far as the monsters and and the fights and the action. Basically, the fights are epic. By the way, watching King Kong just clock Godzilla and him just like fly halfway across Hong Kong is
Were
amazing.
the special effects?
The
pretty cool?
CGI is nuts.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, especially like on King
It's
Kong.
not claymation.
Yeah.
Duh.
But basically, tell me if you agree with this, Chris. I kind of thought it was like a combination of like what Jurassic World was, where it's like awesome, but it's still, it's still kind of campy and everything like that. And then that subplot they had with, the conspiracy theory and it's a mega corporation trying to take over the world was kind of like Resident Evil.
Yeah, that was interesting to me.
Who are
like,
the actors other than
Millie Bobby Brown is in there, who everybody knows from Stranger Things.
yeah.
And what's that?
Skarsgård?
Yeah.
Skarsgård! That's all I know. Then there's that one guy who's in everything.
I don't know.
The one who was in Friday Night Lights.
Kyle Chandler. Yeah, the coach. Yeah.
Kyle Chandler, Sabrina.
And then one of the guys from The Wire is in there. And then
Right, yeah. But to me, it would have been way better if they just took out all the human parts.
That's what a lot of people are saying online. They're like, okay, take out all of the dialogue and everything like that. All I want to see
Just
is
give us...
But King Kong, the story, right? Okay, I'm a movie guy, right? King Kong is the original film and just the story of it. I mean, it's a story about colonialism. It's a story about racism. It is probably the quintessential love story for old Hollywood. I mean, you watch King Kong. That's a proper love story. I mean, yeah, it was like, a 35-foot.
A proper love story.
Yeah, no, it's,
He takes the woman, grabs her, climbs to the top of the Empire State Building.
Should we spoil it? Bree's just like, okay, just Spoiler
Let me just
alert.
tell you, Bree. It's the movie is titled Godzilla versus Kong, but they only fight for a little bit and then they team up to fight Mechagodzilla.
Mechagodzilla. Okay, well, line of the movie.
There's a Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah. just remember this line.
Mechagodzilla.
So there's Godzilla and then there's Mecha Godzilla.
There's Mechagodzilla.
Is there Mecha King Kong?
No, there
No.
isn't. There should be though.
But
so they made Mechagodzilla to fight Godzilla.
Yeah.
But he ended up going bad.
And basically the line of the movie, Kong bows to no one.
Yeah, I'll stick with Star Wars.
Yep.
Actually, okay. Well, did you see the news about Star Wars though?
What?
There's an Obi-Wan movie that's being is it a movie or series?
I think it's a Disney Plus series.
That's being produced and everything like that. Oh, okay, wait, hold that up, please. And coming up very, very soon.
That was one of the good things that come out of the pandemic, though, was the Mandalorian.
Oh.
Oh man.
Mandalorian.
Yeah, the Mandalorian.
There was a documentary written about it. Well, Bray, in exactly a month, you're going to be able to celebrate May the 4th be with you.
All right. Can't wait.
All right. Okay.
Andy Wheeler is super hard. I don't know who's a bigger Star Wars geek, Brie or Andy.
Probably him. I mean, I don't like go.
No. Let me just. Andy might know the names of all the characters and all that stuff, but I think Brie has the true Star Wars love in her heart.
Okay, Brie, what would you rather see more between Vin Diesel looking all tired?
Would
and
you
disheveled,
rather?
or Baby Yoda smiling,
Baby Yoda.
or Tyrese Gibson working on a car?
Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda.
Yoda working on a car.
Baby Yoda working on a car. There.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. 6:48, guys. You know what? All this talk about movies. Let's go ahead and give away a couple movie tickets.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shall
Courtesy
we?
of our friends at Tango Theaters.
Now that we've whetted your appetite for two monsters going at it,
Grr.
are you Team Godzilla or Team Kong?
Okay, so 637-0094. We'll take, let's just go ahead and take the first caller. Whoever's up early on this Monday morning, we're going to give you 2 passes to go see Kong versus Godzilla. Okay?
Technically, it's Godzilla versus Godzilla had top billing.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on whose side you're on.
Yeah. Well, apparently Godzilla had the better agent because he got top billing.
He got top billing, yeah. Okay, so 637-0094. We'll go ahead and hit the phones now on this Monday morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Chris.
Good morning. Who's this?
Tickets. My name is Eve.
Good morning, Eve. So, are you Team Godzilla or Team Kong?
I'm gonna go Team Kong
What is it about Kong that you like?
because he loves people.
That's a great answer. He is very compassionate.
Yes, he is.
I agree. I mean, he's the guy that. Well, it was weird because in the movie Godzilla, if you watch the other one, Godzilla King of the Monsters,
Yeah.
he kind of came out and he went to bat for the humans.
Yeah, he saved the world.
He saved the world.
He did. So Kong is in the jungle, and since we live on Guam, we'll give him that much.
Kong is from the island. That's why he's from Skull Island.
That's
so
that's true.
Kong is an islander.
He's an island boy, and I mean technically, if you want to get biological,
He's
with
an
it,
island boy.
If you want to get biological with it, technically Kong is our relative too.
That's your prim, right? Yeah.
Primo Kong.
Primo Kong, nay. Yeah. Familian King. Familian Rai. That Kong would look cool with a little like island print, you know? Maybe one of these fresco or one of these crowns, little Enasanahi. Dude.
Dude, and it's.
Well, you know what? Godzilla would look good with a mask, and he just takes it off and then breathe the fire. And...
Yeah, Kong could rock some kind of like Laddystone. I'm going to talk to some of my graphics friends.
We'll give him a tsunami.
There you go. So who are you going to take with you? We got 2 tickets for you.
We got tickets. Oh, of course, I'm gonna take my man.
Yeah, dude.
Hey.
When's the last time you guys went to the movies?
Gosh, I think a little before pandemic started. So
over a year.
Yeah, over a year.
What did you miss most about going to the movies?
What did I miss? The concession stand.
Right. Well, congratulations. Go ahead.
I win.
Yeah, you're a winner.
All right. Thank you, Chris, Sabrina, and Jason.
You and your man are going to see Godzilla versus Kong.
You're very welcome. Enjoy and stay safe.
Courtesy of Tango Theaters. I'm going to put you on hold and we're going to get your information, okay?
All right. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Have a great day, Eve.
You too.
Stay safe.
All right, Eve, there, big winner.
Nice people, man.
We have a couple more tickets that we'll give away later on in the show, but you just got to keep listening. Ooh, gotcha. Ooh.
What did MTV
That's a
use?
trick there. See, if you don't listen, can't win.
Remember what did MTV used to say like way back in the day? Like winners watch and watchers win. Dun, 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 dun. You didn't watch a lot of TV. You were outside playing, right? Like, we had a former coworker of ours who basically described me once as this wonderful older Shamor guy. He's like, you know what your problem is, Jason boy? Lana, too much cartoon, not enough lawnmower. and I think that basically sums it up very, very accurately.
Words to live by.
Yeah.
At 6:52, we're going to take a quick break, and we're coming back with more of The Link next. Good morning.
McDonald's. When we throw things away, where is away? What happens to our waste, and where does it go? As a community of small islands, the waste crisis is a large issue we want to bring into focus. Micronesia Climate Change Alliance presents From Our Nanas for Our Nennies, a video series about taking a holistic view of our present, finding wisdom from our past, and inspiring a better future. Airing every week during Earth Month, brought to you by Humanities Guahan and the National Endowment for the Humanities.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Only one company on Guam provides every solar energy solution under one roof. Micronesia Renewable Energy. You want solar only? They got that. You want solar with batteries? They got that too. You want outright purchase or lease purchase? It's up to you. Does your solar system need a tune-up? That's what they do. For solar energy solutions from A to Z, you can count on MRE. Give them a call at 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, providing real solar solutions built by real solar experts.
The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage, with generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by the Bank of Guam and KFC.
Uno Go, delivering meals from your favorite restaurants and more, including delivering sodas and adult beverages from the Bottle Shack. Visit uno-go.com or download the app today. Also follow them on Instagram and Facebook.
Looking for TV schedules, upcoming sports, or special presentations, or what you may have missed over the busy week you had? Well, look no further than KUAM Digital Digest. This weekly emailed newsletter puts all kinds of information in the hands of subscribers each and every week. Just subscribe and we will make sure you keep up with your favorites and stay informed and entertained throughout it all. Go to KUAM.com, click on the newsletter tab, give us your email address, and you are all set. Brought to you in digital partnership with King's Restaurant and Ruby Tuesday Guam. It's the KUAM Digital Digest, your weekly guide to the latest information and best entertainment on the stations and platforms of KUAM.
It's Dirty Politics Weekly on the Link, live on location. Every week, Chris and Sabrina will interview different political leaders out in the field to address environmental problems in our community. See firsthand how illegal dumps, littering, and other issues are plaguing our beautiful island and what's being done to help. Part of our Sustainability Matters campaign for Earth Month, in partnership with the University of Guam Center for Island Sustainability and Guam Green Growth. Presented by Green Energy Solutions, Inc. Reduce before you produce. GESI.
Cover Me, brought to you by Burger King. We're turning 32 thanks to you, celebrating Whopper Wednesdays with Burger King. Again, it's Cover Me. We bring this to you every morning on The Link, and our Cover Me performance this morning from Joe Cruz, brought to you by Burger King.
A certain shade of green. Tell me, is it what you need? All signs around, they say move ahead. Won't someone please explain to me your ever-present lack of speed? Are your muscles bound by the ropes? Or do crutches cloud your day? My sources say the road is clear, and street signs point the way, the way. You're gonna stand around till 2012 AD. What are you waiting for? A certain shade of green. Think of Google Gray, watching you procrastinate. What are you waiting for? A certain shade of what, a written invitation. Sign truth now or lose it all. Oh, sedate your hesitation, or inflame, make you stall, you stall. You've been raised in limitation, but that glove never fit quite right. The time has come for hand-me-downs. Choose a new, please evolve and take flight. You're gonna stand around till 2012 AD. What are you waiting for? A certain shade of green. Think of Google Gray, watching you procrastinate. What are you waiting for? A certain shade of gray. A certain shade of green.
When we throw things away, where is away? What happens to our waste, and where does it go? As a community of small islands, the waste crisis is a large issue we want to bring into focus. Micronesia Climate Change Alliance presents From Our Nanas for Our Nennies, a video series about taking a holistic view of our present, finding wisdom from our past, and inspiring a better future. Airing every week during Earth Month, brought to you by Humanities Guahan and the National Endowment for the Humanities.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Only one company on Guam provides every solar energy solution under one roof. Micronesia Renewable Energy. You want solar only? They got that. You want solar with batteries? They got that too. You want outright purchase or lease purchase? It's up to you. Does your solar system need a tune-up? That's what they do. For solar energy solutions from A to Z, you can count on MRE. Give them a call at 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, providing real solar solutions built by real solar experts.
The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage, with generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by the Bank of Guam and KFC.
Uno Go, delivering meals from your favorite restaurants and more, including delivering sodas and adult beverages from the Bottle Shack. Visit uno-go.com or download the app today. Also follow them on Instagram and Facebook.
Looking for TV schedules, upcoming sports, or special presentations, or what you may have missed over the busy week you had? Well, look no further than KOAM Digital Digest. This weekly emailed newsletter puts all kinds of information in the hands of subscribers each and every week. Just subscribe and we will make sure you keep up with your favorites and stay informed and entertained throughout it all. Go to KOAM.com, click on the newsletter tab, give us your email address, and you are all set. Brought to you in digital partnership with King's Restaurant and Ruby Tuesday Guam. It's the KOAM Digital Digest, your weekly guide to the latest information and best entertainment on the stations and platforms of KUAM.
I never know what camera to look at. It's usually the one that makes me look chubbier than I really am. So it's that one, right? Hi. Mike's in here like, which camera?
Yeah, because Chris is always like, guys, can you please position the camera in a certain way that's more flattering?
Flattering and less fattering. No, I'm just proud to say that I've never had any work done. It shows. 7:03. Let's bring on from the Mayor's Council of Guam. Oh, stand by. Remember this dude? Walter Manglotnia, Badu, Rockwan, CNMI, represent!
This really sounds like late 90s, early 2000s boy band. It's got all the elements. I'm thinking you have to do those one things where you do the arm cross, like a single tier, or open up your shirt and stand behind, stand in the rain.
Dude, just enjoy the song.
Yeah. No, Jay's adding a whole. He wants to see a guy opening a shirt with a little tear.
Standing in the rain.
I think you missed your calling, Jay. Standing in the rain. Well, that just got a little weird.
Well, Mayor Jesse Alex said it was raining this
and a
weekend.
wet T-shirt, right? Hi, Mayor. Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Monday. Mayor, I guess we'll just first start as we get our weekly update here with the Mayor's Council of Guam. President Jesse Alec, the tragic news, the loss of former UMATIC Mayor Daniel Sanchez, right, over the weekend.
That's right. I don't have too much information, but on behalf of the Mayor's Council of Guam, I want to extend our condolences to the family of former Mayor Danny Sanchez. I know that it seems to have been a tragic experience down in UMATIC, and we're hoping that, the people are brought to justice and their family can find peace in the end. So yeah, that was definitely difficult for Easter.
Right.
But of course, on the other hand, we want to, on behalf of the mayors and the vice mayors that work so hard together with our coworkers, we want to wish everyone on Guam a very happy Easter, and we hope that everyone enjoyed themselves with their families and their friends and stayed safe.
What was it like in PD?
Oh, it was quiet in PD. But it rained. That was different for sure. It rained on Good Friday. It rained on Easter Sunday. It rained on our parade, like I told our residents.
Literally.
So literally. So we ended up doing a last minute drive-through, and it worked out. The kids were still so excited to see the Easter Bunny. So instead of hanging out at home, they drove down to the mayor's office and picked up their treats. And so they did find some golden eggs. But for the PD residents that did not get the information, we're still passing out eggs today between 8 to 5 at the office, and they still have a chance to win a golden egg. So there's still opportunities to try some Easter treats from us at the PD mayor's office.
Mayor, I know mid last week they upped the social gathering limit from 25 to 50. Did you see that impact at the village level? I know you said it was quiet, but were people having their Easter gatherings?
No, I drove around. Because of the rain and because of our planned parade, and I really didn't see a lot of families gathering more than they typically do. And it was very nice to know that still, even though the gathering was lifted to 50 or raised to 50, that families were still being cautious. I mentioned earlier about the hotels, because typically our family, one side of my family does hotel and the other side does something else, and we tried to make reservations ahead of time, and the hotels that were open were fully booked. So we ended up doing breakfast at one of the hotels, which was very nice because it was very calm and not as crowded. But I just wanted to see what everyone else looked like at the brunch time. I'm sure it was full because, like I said, their reservations were all booked. So
yeah,
but, it seemed like everyone had a safe time.
I went to Hyatt for brunch and it was packed. I mean, they had basically the whole ground floor was just for the brunch service, and so they had all these different stations. But I definitely felt that vibe that people wanted to do Easter Sunday brunch. And
yeah, well, we went to the Hyatt for breakfast, so that was we saw them setting that up, and I thought, wow, I wanted to eat all that food, but I didn't know if I wanted to stay in line and be with all
that was the
people,
thing. Is there was a line, right?
So did you try their pastries? They had croffles with ice cream.
They did, yeah. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of ice cream that was just a little bit of ice cream that was. Mayor, let's talk Stray Dogs Roundup. Where are we at for this week? We had Cyrus from Gain on last week, right, Bree?
Yeah, we did.
I didn't hear that interview, but I know that we're still. Gosh, so Tumuning collected at least 60 dogs already, and I know that they're continuing to collect more. I do have a breakdown, and I apologize that I can't give that to you because I don't have it. I don't have access to it at the moment. But there are several villages that are turning in dogs as well, and not just waiting for the roundup to happen in their village. And of course, we have an SOP with the mayors and Gain, and we typically would call Gain in advance to make sure that they have room. And so far, we haven't had any issues, but there's times where we're going to have to hold on to some of the dogs that are caught because the capacity is at Gain is full. So I know on that end, we're continuing to do a roundup in many ways at different villages, but on the long-term side is, we're still, all of that is still in the works, and you know about all of that already. We've talked about several options there, and so those options still remain on the table. And but I'm very hopeful about those long-term solutions.
I wanted to ask if you had any position or maybe just the sentiments in the community over there in PD about this bill that's going up for a public hearing at 2:00 this afternoon regarding silencers, and I believe there's a gun range in PD. Is it loud?
No, it's not. It's away. It's in the Haleguas area of PD, so it's kind of away from the neighborhood and up in the mountains, we say. So yeah, we don't typically hear anything from there. We've never had any real issues with the range, the shooting range up there. So I don't think that's going to pose a big problem for us in the village.
Okay. What about an update on whether or not the mayors are getting any of the $600 plus million in American Rescue funds, the direct appropriation to the governor's office?
like everyone else, we're on our knees and praying. So we're
praying
still
right on your knees and praying.
Yeah. See, sometimes that's all we're all, you know, that's all we could do. And so we continue to check. Of course, there's some money coming to us from the Education Stabilization Fund, and that you know, it's still stimulus related, but it's not this from the 661. And so we're working actively on a plan for the use of that money and presenting that to the Lieutenant Governor by tomorrow. So that I know that several villages have already submitted a plan to use that money for an after-school program and for summer school program. And we're hoping that the money can be drawn down soon enough so that they can execute their programs. Now, this is not to be mixed with the DOE programs, because on the DOE side, they're focused on academics, and for us on the village side, we're going to focus on the social and emotional health of the child. And one of the things that we're doing in PD and some other villages is we're trying to reach out to the adults for training and for further education, because we know that some adults did not complete their high school education, or perhaps some adults need additional certification or training for a certain type of trade in order for them to get a better job. And in some of our minds, we feel that it's best to equip them with that certification now so that they can look for better paying jobs. And we're hoping, and that's there's a wide array of jobs that are open, and we know that the construction industry is wide open, and we're hoping that we can get some adults prepared for that. I know there's a wide an interest in HVAC, and so we're certainly going to include that as well. And the best part about it is it's brought to the village level, so that the residents don't have to travel far if they have no transportation or limited transportation. And we're certainly going to try to provide childcare or something for their child to do while they're receiving certification, because that's also another barrier to their education, is that they perhaps have children and are not able to get a babysitter or someone to care for their children while they're receiving an education. So we're definitely looking into those options, and that's really to fight poverty for us in PD and hopefully in the other villages, because we can't expect adults and our residents to get a good paying job if they're not equipped with the proper tools and the certifications. So we're hoping that that's going to work out. And that's all part of our plan from the Education Stabilization Fund.
And speaking of education, the mayors are also participating, it appears, and helping with GDOE's PATH program, right? I think that starts this week with the distribution.
That's correct. That is correct. I don't have information on it, but I do know that there are joint efforts. So, of course, it helps, because then it subsidizes what we need to get from the ESF for the villages. So there are the larger villages that are participating for sure. One of the issues that DOE I think is seeing is that the community learning centers are also not utilized to its fullest potential. And we're hoping that with the community-based or the mayors-based programs, we're going to see more participation, because it's perhaps a little more homey and not going to school, perhaps, you know. So hopefully we could see more enrollment on the community level side, and then we can balance it out with the education, the academics.
Okay.
But this week we have our regular meeting, and so we have a lot going on at our regular meeting this Wednesday. We have some guest speakers. We're definitely going to be entertaining the Relay for Life group and AmeriCorps, because we're trying to see if we can involve ourselves with AmeriCorps in all the 19 villages so that they can assist us with the after-school program as well, and the summer school program. One of the things that we do in PD is we utilize AmeriCorps for the after school program, which provides homework assistance and mentoring. And, you know, we found that nowadays a lot of our children need to talk to somebody, and perhaps it couldn't be mom or dad, and it may not even be the older brother or the sister. So if we can have mentors that are available for these students, then perhaps they will be able to share what it is that they need, and so that we can provide the proper service or the proper assistance. So we're definitely looking forward to that, as well as we're going to be discussing in one of our committees, our standing committees, our Legislative and Finance Standing Committee, 2 bills that had a public hearing. And I believe they were both introduced by Senator Ada. And the first one was the Tourist Attraction Fund, has to do with the Tourist Attraction Fund. And I'm interested in it, and I'm definitely going to present it to the council, because one of the things that's interesting about it is, as the Mayor's Council and as the NGOs in the different villages, they'll be able to compete for these grants as well for their festivals and for their projects in the village, as it pertains to culture and Guam. And the other thing about it is, and the good thing about it really is that we'll all be accountable. So what we produce, it has to be at a level that is acceptable for the Bureau, that is acceptable for perhaps their marketing team, in order to meet the needs of the Guam Visitors Bureau and of course our island community. So that's interesting. We do have, the Mayor's Council typically gets funding from the Tourist Attraction Fund, but this is separate from what we typically receive every fiscal year. And then the other one is the other bill that I think Senator Ada introduced, and I don't know the numbers, but I know what it's about. It's the qualifying certificate and how that helps the community. So that's kind of a GIDA issue, where the businesses that are issued qualifying certificates will be able to assist the villages at the municipal level with our projects and perhaps our facilities. So that's interesting, because it's not money coming out of the general fund. It's money that is actually coming from the businesses that invest in Guam. So that we'll be discussing those 2 on Wednesday as well, and hopefully getting support from the rest of the mayors. So we have not submitted testimony for either of those bills, because I would like to get the consensus of the council to, I think the more voices, the more powerful that is. And not only that, but if everyone buys into it, perhaps because it'll benefit their community, it'll make more sense to the senators and to the governor in the end.
Mayor, what about the senior centers? They didn't make the cut in the latest guidance issued from public health. What discussions are you guys having in terms of reopening them? You guys targeting a specific time frame?
The only discussion that we've had about it is, until we're able to accept 100% occupancy for all the centers, we have decided not to open the centers with the governor, simply because how do you prioritize one manamco from the other? And then we're going to have Malfunction come in with a joke again on us. It's probably Chris, because it's Monday morning.
Right. Mayor, so what's the timeline on that? Because, when you look at what's open, what's allowed, what's not, I don't think there's anything that isn't being allowed.
Well, it's 100% 100% capacity means that they're able to accept like a Stumble, perhaps. I think they have like 100 seniors. So they can't allow the 100 in, because you cannot fit 100 in the center socially distant, right? So that's the problem. And then you get Sinahanya. Sinahanya has a nice center, but I know their enrollment is high because they incorporate other villages, I believe, with Sinahanya, and they can't fit all of them in there, and keeping in mind the social distancing factor. So everyone can wear masks, but they'll be closer than 6 feet, maybe even closer than 3 feet, because of the space. And when they set up for bingo and when they set up for other activities, it decreases the capacity. So that's the biggest issue. And of course, the reason why they're last on the list is not because they're not thought of. That it's the contrary. It's they are the most vulnerable, and so we don't want to put them in a situation where they're going to be sick in the end. And it's best that they wait until it's safe.
Thanks for that, Mayor. What about illegal dumping? So we're doing a whole segment this month on called Dirty Politics, where we go out to different dump sites at the village level. Just your take on this. It's a problem that just won't go away.
Yeah, everyone has a different point of view on how to stop illegal dumping. I'm not convinced in any one way how this can be done. We've tried many different things. Assessing higher fines is probably not going to work as well as much as people think. Assessing more than $1,000 is going to work. I mean, if the resident or the perpetrator does not have the money, then what do we do? In the end, are they just slap on the wrist again and move along? So there's just, it's just real difficult to figure out what's the best solution, I believe. But to provide for us at the village level, if we can provide opportunities for residents to ensure that their trash is dumped properly, I think we're doing our end of the work for the community. And so when the villages provide green waste bins for residents to properly dispose their green waste, when mayors announce to their communities that they're accepting certain items for disposal for free, I think residents should take advantage of that. If residents are not finding that assistance with their particular mayor, they certainly can give us a call at the PD mayor's office, and we can certainly get them some help and communicate with their mayor somehow, so that we can get that service to them, because the money is there for us, at least on the mayor's council side, and we can help out. But sometimes it's just about communication and making sure that we get the right message. Right. And we do know that it's always easier to find a space in the jungle and dump it, but at the same time, it's just as easy to call the mayor and see what the mayor can do, because for the most part, the mayor can accept your recyclables, and sometimes it's just there's a waiting list, and there has to be reasonable times, and there are reasonable times. So what I mean by that is they're not going to wait a year. They can wait a couple weeks, perhaps, maybe at the most a month. But once we get our purchase orders, or once an office has purchase orders, they certainly can make arrangements to dispose these items. So on our end, we're hoping that we provide as much free service, and I say free because you don't have to pay for it at that time, but we all put into this, right? We all put into this fund somehow. So I'm hoping that on our end, as far as mayors and vice mayors, we're open to helping our residents dispose their recyclables. And a lot of what we see that's illegally dumped are the recyclable items, like the white goods and the appliances. Right.
So when we were out at Chandler Ramirez, Mayor Sanchez had said, before you guys go dump, call the mayor and we'll come take your trash. Do you get that from residents where they say, man, and I know you said you take recyclables, but do you ever get those calls from residents who say, I don't want to dump in the jungle? Can you send the boys to come get this?
Oh, yeah. Yes, definitely. we always do. Well, you know what? But we're less and less, I think, in PD, for example, we're seeing more residents just communicate with us because they know that we'll work with them. And I have attempted littering citation once, and I think that made a lot of news in the community that I was giving a citation for illegal dumping, and that's because they all saw us with the cops. And so, like I said, just communicate with your mayor, because it's not that difficult. There probably may be a wait time, but at most it's a month. And if you've had it for years, can you hold it for just another month or so? So, yeah, that's my take on that.
Anything in closing, Mayor Alec?
Other than that, I'm just excited about Easter, it's still Easter for me. There's just so many different things going on in the Mayor's Council, and there's good things coming with the ESF money and what we're going to do with the children and the students and the adults. So that's top on my mind, and I'm just hoping that, our communities, our village residents will make use of those activities when they're finally executed.
Are you wishing, other than being on your knees and praying, that you guys had a firmer commitment for a piece of this $600 million pie?
Certainly, I am. And of course, I bring it up all the time in my discussions, just trying to make sure that, we're secured. I do know that, the governor has committed to help us with our shortfall, and that's definitely one. But for the other things that's necessary, we're certainly just, trying as best we can to convince the governor and the lieutenant governor that what we've requested for is necessary, and not only necessary, but because of our work during the pandemic. And so I'm hoping that, they will see that, and I'm hoping that because of that work, and because, they've seen it, they will give us the money that we've requested, or the items that we've requested.
Well, like my mom's bumper sticker says, pray the rosary. Thank you, Mayor.
You guys have a good week.
We'll see you Monday.
Okay.
PD Mayor Jesse Allig, the president of the Mayor's Council of Guam. PD was relatively calm. Jotnia was pretty popping as far as Easter gatherings. Jigo, Bree, how was Jigo?
I'm not sure. I stayed home, didn't do anything.
Did you go around at all?
No.
Oh, all right. Yeah, so
we had that story yesterday.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we were working on that, and
yeah, that's how I started my Easter Sunday. Was went down to Umatic and was on that scene, and it was just really tough for obviously very, very difficult for the family, because they were all gathered outside of the house where former Mayor Sanchez's body was. And so when I came on the scene, the detectives weren't there yet. And so, man, it was really heartbreaking, because the family had come up to me. They said, hey, can you call and ask them to come down, because there was an issue where the cops needed a warrant to get into the house, right, Bree?
That's what we heard, yes.
Yeah.
So it just took a while.
Yeah, and so there was about like 50-some family members just gathered on this little road right after the bridge. So my original plan was to go down to Umatic, shoot some video, take some pics, just talk with the family members down there, and then get up to Cathedral for 9:30 Mass. But I ended up getting caught up in a conversation with the former mayor's brother and a bunch of his family members. I was late for Mass, but I looked at it like, probably I was supposed to be where I was at, right, on Easter Sunday morning, because, we had just had a long talk, which we'll talk about more when we get Sergeant Tapau on. But then when I was like, hey, I got to run, I got to go to church, they were like, man, can you just do one of your jokes? And so I did a little joke, and they all kind of laughed. So I thought it was kind of neat to bring some light to that very, very dark situation. Hey, it's 7:29. We're going to take a quick break and come back with the Cannabis Control Board's Attorney Vanessa Williams, next right here on the link at 7:29. Good morning.
Finally.
When we throw things away, where is away? What happens to our waste, and where does it go? As a community of small islands, the waste crisis is a large issue we want to bring into focus. Micronesia Climate Change Alliance presents From Our Nanas for Our Nennies, a video series about taking a holistic view of our present, finding wisdom from our past, and inspiring a better future. Airing every week during Earth Month. Brought to you by Humanities Guahan and the National Endowment for the Humanities.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Only one company on Guam provides every solar energy solution under one roof. Micronesia Renewable Energy. You want solar only? They got that. You want solar with batteries? They got that too. You want outright purchase or lease purchase? It's up to you. Does your solar system need a tune-up? That's what they do. For solar energy solutions from A to Z, you can count on MRE. Give them a call at 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, providing real solar solutions built by real solar experts.
The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage, with generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by the Bank of Guam and KFC.
Uno Go, delivering meals from your favorite restaurants and more, including delivering sodas and adult beverages from the Bottle Shack. Visit uno-go.com or download the app today. Also follow them on Instagram and Facebook.
Looking for TV schedules, upcoming sports, or special presentations, or what you may have missed over the busy week you had? Well, look no further than KOAM Digital Digest. This weekly emailed newsletter puts all kinds of information in the hands of subscribers each and every week. Just subscribe and we will make sure you keep up with your favorites and stay informed and entertained throughout it all. Go to KOAM.com, click on the newsletter tab, give us your email address, and you are all set. Brought to you in digital partnership with King's Restaurant and Ruby Tuesday Guam. It's the KOAM Digital Digest, your weekly guide to the latest information and best entertainment on the stations and platforms of KUAM.
Me don't have no zigzag, a sheet zero. Load on the pipe and a back up the bone. Good music, not be at me feet. Said a motivation killer, but for me it's just a thrill and a budget day. Me said, good music, not be at me feet.
Marianas Collective, Herbal Music, 734. Let's head into the Zoom room where we have the chair of the Cannabis Control Board, Attorney Vanessa Williams. Good morning.
Morning, Chris. Morning, Sabrina.
Happy Easter.
Sure.
Well, let's just get right into it. Where are the rules and regs, and what's the status of standing those up, Vanessa?
We have, the board has adopted a final version of the rules. So what happened was we had a public hearing in late November, and we had 3 days of hearings and testimony from the public. There was a period where we were receiving email comments as well. And the meetings that we've had since then, up until about 2 weeks ago, we're all reviewing those public comments and discussing those comments and any changes we'd make to the rules. And so after we considered all of the comments that we received and made some changes to the rules that we had drafted and issued back in November, we adopted a final version about a week ago. And so where we are right now is the board made those edits to the document. It's about 100 pages of rules amongst the various sections. And we are going to transport that with the required impact report and studies to the governor, to the AG's office before they sign off and review it before it goes to the legislature.
So is it the legislature that would have the final approval?
Yes.
Okay. And I know...
go ahead.
No, I wanted to follow up on all the debate that was that got everybody fired up regarding Tumon.
I like that, fired up.
What was the resolution?
The resolution was ultimately retail shops are the only facilities that can be in C zones, but they cannot be in H zones. So we brought in the director of the Department of Land Management to try to figure out whether, what areas of Tumon will be affected exactly. To our understanding, it's mostly H zone, not C zone. I'm not an expert in zoning law. That's why we brought the director on and consulted him. But we did not put any village restrictions. So the rules don't say you can't have any facilities in Tumon or any other village. They just say you can only have these certain types of facilities in these certain zones. And the only zone that could potentially be possibly in Tumon or elsewhere is if you find a pocket of a C zone. There are other.
I'm sorry. Could you just explain what is a C zone, what is an H zone for our viewers?
My apologies. So C zone is commercial zone, and H zone is hotel zoned. And by law, there's that you have the different zoning. So commercial zone, hotel zone. Industrial, I think light industrial, agriculture, and the law defines what are generally permitted uses in each of these zones. And so when we identified where you could grow versus where you can manufacture, where you can test cannabis, and where you can sell through your retail shop, we tried to identify those zones, only permit those zones where it's a consistent use. So the only zone or the only facility you would really potentially be able to find in a commercial zone is a retail shop.
So like a ABC store in Tumon, is that what you're saying? Like you could buy weed?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know
as long
exactly
as it's a retail shop, right?
Yeah, the retail shops could be.
And it has to be, there was something that Senator Rogel said that it can't be near a church or it can't be near a school, right? Something like that?
It can't be near churches, playgrounds, schools, or anywhere where kids congregate, which is, kind of a loose, loose verbiage. Yeah. That's what the law says. And so that's something that we find in the law that those before we wrote the rules. So we try to make the rules consistent with that. But ultimately, so you have those like built-in protections on where a cannabis facility can be. But ultimately, when we were discussing this and the board was going back and forth about whether we can just put restrictions and say, you just can't have it in this certain village. This seemed like something that if the legislature had intended, if they had wanted to say, no, we're not going to allow this to be in this area, like they said, we don't want it near schools. We don't want it near playgrounds. They explicitly said that. They didn't say anything about Tumon. They didn't say anything about any other village. And so that seems kind of an overreach at a board level for us to just start Xing out villages.
Right.
You know, and I can't speak for the legislature. Obviously, this is just something we work on, looking to see what they do with the draft rules that we have.
Vanessa, just to clarify, is there on-site consumption allowed at cannabis retail outlets?
No. So no on-site consumption, no public consumption right now.
Will some of these Tumon businesses still have time to comment, I guess, on the adopted rules and regs? Or is it pretty much done? They had their opportunity.
Yeah, so the time for commenting to the board, the Cannabis Control Board has, so we've already made our changes. So what we can do with the comments and how we can amend the rules is limited under the law. It says you have this period to make comments, you have a period to make hearings, and then the board can make changes pursuant to those comments you had at the public hearing afterwards. Now, so we couldn't take comments now and go back and say, okay, we're going to make another revision before we're going to change it with the legislature, just because of that process that's prescribed by law. But you got to remember, like all rules and even the law, we know changes all the time. You know, the legislature makes amendments, and likewise, administrative bodies like the Cannabis Control Board can make changes, and it's anticipated that we will. I mean, I don't know of any jurisdiction in the country that has said, okay, these are our rules and this is how it's going to be, and they never touched it. I mean, you know, it's like every jurisdiction we've looked at has made, you know, multiple amendments, and usually it grows larger, but there are some things that they roll back completely. And so that's something that we anticipate. You know, we don't have anything to observe. It's hard to say, oh, this is how this will play out in this industry, in this island, you know, in our market. Once we have that, I anticipate once the industry is going for a year or two, I anticipate there's going to be changes that we see need to be made. And of course, the public can always comment on how something is working. You know, that's how it works with everything. And if we need to change the rules, what we would do is propose another amendment, and we'd have to have another public hearing on that and go through that same process, have the public hearing, give everyone equal opportunity to respond to those amendments, and then go through that whole process again where we transmit it to the legislature.
Vanessa, what was your takeaway on how late in the game we saw a lot of this resistance for cannabis in Tumon? Because like you said, I know the comment period was when it was, but it kind of seemed like, I don't know if they just weren't paying attention or if it was because we were getting closer to the end of this process that they decided to really make a lot of noise about that issue.
Yeah, it was a little curious. So it was very late in the game that because we did have meetings, you know, before the hearing for a year and a half at least, and every single meeting actually invited. We have opportunity for the public to comment during a board meeting, which you don't always have, you know, but board meetings are open by law, but we would actually, you know, have public comment and accept it. And so this was it was only after, or literally on the last hour or day of the hearing or the morning after, that we got this really organized response. So that's difficult too. And I understand there's a lot of things that have been going on this past year. So, you know, I could attribute it to some of that. But that is also, you know, you have the rules and you have the process defined so that it could be most fair. The reality is different. You know, if people aren't really engaged and weren't coming to all the meetings and weren't aware of that, you know, we can only do so much. You know, we can provide our public notice of when the hearings are. We put the proposed rules on the website, and try to get that word out. You know, I don't know how many times I've been on the radio or on the news talking about it, and it's just, I guess when it comes to the last minute, maybe it got a little more real for people. And I think people were, you know, in general, just we were all coping with everything else in the pandemic. But when this became when it was at their door, then maybe that's what prompted action.
Sorry, I'm really just not clear on everything with this weed because I don't smoke. But if I wanted to open up a shop, I guess it doesn't matter what village, it has to be in a commercial zone. Is there like a special license or permit, or can I be also an existing shop, retail shop, and also on the side sell marijuana?
Right. So I think how that would play out, and just to be clear, these are what we've adopted. I don't know if there's going to be changes at the legislature, so that we could find something totally different. But the way it is written or proposed now is that you do need to get a special license if you want to sell cannabis. It's not like just going and adding a different service or product to your business license at Rev and Tax. You apply through the board. You have your own separate application process and review. Now, I anticipate that people, if you sold other products in your cannabis store or in your facility, let's say you're selling drinks or something else there, that's possible, but you would be subject to the highest level of scrutiny because a cannabis facility has a lot more security requirements and safety requirements than I'd imagine than just a mom and pop, regular retail mom and pop store. So I think it's possible. I don't know how viable it'd be for any particular business or, if that's something, that people are interested in, but you would have to get a special license. It'd be the cannabis facility license for it.
I mean, I think what we wanted to ask was, let's say like I'm an existing coffee slut, right? And then I want to sell coffee, but then I also want to offer the option of selling cannabis. Can an existing business add on a cannabis license and then add that service, that retail service, to their existing business?
Yeah. So to clarify, I think they could. I think you could do that, but you'd probably have to make a ton of adjustments to your business, and you couldn't allow minors in it. So that's what I meant by, I don't know how feasible it is, if you were existing business, because you basically be transforming it into a completely different business because you have to have, 24-hour security camera footage, on your business. You have to have, you have to have all of the products safely stored away. You can't have minors in there. That's a little difficult for any, given retail shop. But in theory, you could. There's nothing in the rules that say you absolutely cannot sell any other product except cannabis in your facility.
But if you do sell cannabis, no minors, no all those rules that you mentioned.
Security.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, that being said, I mean, that's interesting. That being said, do you think that it's still feasible for some of our lower level businesses to jump on into the cannabis market?
I think so. I mean, that is the hope. That was a major policy or, concern as we were drafting these rules and hearing comments. How does someone who's just starting out or a small, tiny business get into this industry? How does it not get dominated by the big players? And so you can see one of the ways to do that was to reduce the licensing fees. We looked at the license fees for medicinal facilities, and when they were too high for us to adopt by law, because the law prohibits our application fees from being over $5,000. So those didn't work as a placeholder anyway. So we dropped those substantially, and then you can have micro cultivation facilities, which are much smaller, have reduced fees, reduced footprint, have an easier time getting licensed. So yeah, I don't see any reason, like looking at the cost for starting any other business,
Right.
why anyone who wanted to start this, given that, they know their product or they know how to, how to get, I guess just know the product, why they couldn't get into the business.
How much is like, let's say I'm an existing business and like I said, I want to add on and sell cannabis and no minors and I'm gonna do all the things that I have to do. How much is that license?
Gosh, I want to say, I don't have it right in front of me. I think it's around a couple $1,000s.
I see. Okay.
Are there like hours when you can't sell marijuana? Because with alcohol, there's certain hours that you're
Right.
not allowed to buy. Is it the same kind of situation with marijuana?
I think so. And I think that would be as a result of alcohol regulations, actually. So, and because of federal restrictions on that. So I'm almost positive you can't have alcohol and cannabis in the same facility.
What about like a restaurant? Let's say like there's a restaurant and they have like a little part of their menu where it's like they have the edibles. Would that restaurant then not be able to have minors dining in at any time?
I would think not. Well, so the one problem is that you're not supposed to consume even edibles on site. There's no public permitted consumption, in like cafes. That's not something that we're ready to do. I mean, the law is very clear on saying, okay, no public consumption, although it does give the board authority to change that if we, enact rules otherwise. But this is one of those things where, okay, we're just starting out. And I think kind of a way to hedge against those fears and unknowns is we're not going to open it up 100% completely. This is a huge fear for I think the tourism industry. The reason why they don't, not just the appearance of the shops, and having cannabis leaves and that be discouraging families, it's the fact that people will be consuming it in Tijuana.
Yeah.
And of course, community concerns, if this isn't mainstream yet, completely mainstream.
Well, I just
open a drive-through marijuana,
Because I think people have in their mind like how it's going to be, and I think people are thinking that once these rules and regs are approved, they're going to be able to go to a cafe and like light up 5 spliffs and just be. But with these rules and regs, there's no cafes, no on-site consumption at all.
And so you can't be criminally penalized for that anymore, right? It's been decriminalized. But if you're a facility and you're permitting that, then we can ultimately we could yank your license. There's any violation of the licensing laws, we would shut you down. And obviously, that's that's not feasible for business. So, we wanted to get it out there to get as many. Make the industry as accessible to as many as possible, especially small businesses, local businesses, but not making it a free-for-all where people have this idea of Amsterdam in the Pacific,
Yeah, that's the idea that we had, Vanessa. Why are you saying it like it's a bad thing?
That's not what we were trying to do. We were just trying to make a new safe market.
Could we quickly just touch on the growing part of it, right? Like the grow houses and what are the rules on those? Because that's a little heftier license, right?
Yeah. And there are different tiers, so depending on how big your canopy is. And before we get into all the details, I'll give the caveat. I am not, the growing, well, in general, growing and agriculture, I'm not as familiar and intimate with how their regular licensing works. But I'll answer as best I can.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Vanessa. Where can we look at these rules and regs that were adopted? Is it available online?
We have the proposed rules on Reventax website at Cannabis Control Board's landing page, where we have like our minutes and the economic impact study But I don't know if that's the final version. If not, I will make sure it is, today.
Okay.
But usually they're about updating the website. And then, of course, I will be transmitting it this week to all the people, the governor, the AG's office, and then that'll be part of our public record as well.
Vanessa, before we let you go, I did want to get whatever update you can give on the ACLU abortion lawsuit.
Yeah, sure. We had a hearing. I think about 3 weeks ago now. Before that. So an update is the lawsuit was challenging 2 statutes that were prohibiting telemedicine abortion, and the government and the plaintiffs have stipulated that one of them will not go into force. So we've settled on half the issues. So they're saying that telemedicine can be allowed. These doctors can provide the service. So that was a big win. The other provision in law that's still in dispute and that we just had a hearing on was whether these physicians can give the information that's required by law to their patients via video conference, or if the patients are going to be required to see someone else who's not necessarily a physician here on Guam. And that's something that we have not resolved, and we're waiting a decision on. It's a preliminary injunction decision. So just saying until the trial, this is how the judge thinks is what's most likely to prevail. And so we will permit the physicians to consult, or we will not permit the physicians to consult until the trial.
Sorry, just to go back to cannabis before we let you go, because we're on top of the hour. Are there restrictions on advertising for cannabis?
Advertising for cannabis, I believe there are restrictions on packaging and labeling. I can't remember off the top of my head what advertising restrictions there
Are we going to see? Are we going to see a big cannabis on the side of the mass transit buses, or?
I don't know. I don't think I don't recall off the top of my head. I don't think that we put that many restrictions in advertising.
Okay.
We just require disclosures in the products themselves.
Right. Okay, that's interesting. Well, Vanessa, thank you so much for your
Thanks,
time.
Vanessa.
Definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good week.
Okay.
Take care.
Too. Right on. 7:57. Good talk. Bree, do you feel like you know a little bit more about what's going to happen?
Yeah, a little bit more, but I would really like to read the final draft, right?
Right, yeah.
Where's the final?
The almost final
Yeah.
draft. That's definitely interesting, because I think, I thought that it was just going to be wide open. That, you were going to have the cafes, you were going to be able to go and, smoke your jizzy and whatever, eat your brownie someplace. But that's not even going to happen.
No on-site consumption.
Right. And there's still no public consumption of cannabis. So that was pretty interesting. It looks like they have tried, and I know that was an issue, at least on the growing part of it, because I think to grow, that's where you need the big bucks, right? But it kind of seems like they tried, at least on the lower end, the retail, to make it a little more accessible. Because that's where we're supposed to make a lot of money, is on the licensing and, the fees and all that stuff. Hey, 7:58. Guys, we're about to sign on to KUAM TV, right? At this time, we'd normally be signing off, but we switched it up on you.
All right, so we're going to take a break, and we will be back. Join us on KUAM TV.
Yes. So
or you could listen to us on the radio or stay
Right.
with us on the stream.
We're right here on the Facebook live stream, too. Again, it's 7:59. We're KUAM FM, Hagatni, Guam, on the breeze with the link. Good morning.
When we throw things away, where is away? What happens to our waste, and where does it go? As a community of small islands, the waste crisis is a large issue we want to bring into focus. Micronesia Climate Change Alliance presents From Our Nanas for Our Nennies, a video series about taking a holistic view of our present, finding wisdom from our past, and inspiring a better future. Airing every week during Earth Month, brought to you by Humanities Guahan and the National Endowment for the Humanities.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Only one company on Guam provides every solar energy solution under one roof. Micronesia Renewable Energy. You want solar only? They got that. You want solar with batteries? They got that too. You want outright purchase or lease purchase? It's up to you. Does your solar system need a tune-up? That's what they do. For solar energy solutions from A to Z, you can count on MRE. Give them a call at 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, providing real solar solutions built by real solar experts.
The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage, with generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by the Bank of Guam and KFC.
Uno Go, delivering meals from your favorite restaurants and more, including delivering sodas and adult beverages from the Bottle Shack. Visit uno-go.com or download the app today. Also follow them on Instagram and Facebook.
Good morning, Guam. It's 8:03 to our viewers on KUAM TV 11. Good morning on you, and welcome to The Link. Monday, April 5th. We are proudly brought to you by East West Rental, Calvo Enterprises. Carrier for all my Aircon babies. You know who you are. Keep it cool. 647-COOL. And thank you again to Jack in the Box for jumping on board the sponsorship of The Link. You know what sounds good right about now? Some curly fries. Huh? Jay, you know I've got a weakness for those curly fries, bro.
Do you?
And there's never been a bad time to enjoy Jack in the Box's newest $3 sauced and loaded curly fries. Huh?
Sauced and loaded.
Yes.
Those are two adjectives I would use to describe you.
New slow smoked bacon available in 2 flavors, triple cheddar and spicy pepper jack. Add Jack in the Box. Tell them The Link sent you. It's 8:03. Good morning, Sabrina.
Good morning.
Good morning again, KUAM TV 11. Hope you guys had a great Easter. To all of our Facebook Live viewers, happy Easter. And let us know how you're celebrating Easter in the States. Okay? It's 8:04. Good morning. Also coming up, we have Dirty Politics. This is a great segment that we're doing for Earth Month.
Yes, just one of the many things we're doing for Earth Month. So today, like Chris mentioned, we are rolling out our segment Dirty Politics, where we interview different elected leaders talk trash. So the first one you were going to be watching today is our visit up to the village of Jigo, Chalon Ramirez, where we are interviewing the mayor of the village. We've got Guam EPA on site, as well as Senator Sabina Perez, who has oversight over Guam EPA.
All right. And also on the way out this morning, we're getting Dave Della Sola, Labor Director for our PUA and FPUC update, Sergeant Paul Tapao, the Guam Police Department, Lillian Posadas, Hospital Administrator, and our friends in Nafamaulik with Harlem Hikes, Bree. And this episode, I know Ty was just up there for Good Friday, but they're climbing Mount Humunzung Monglu.
And I saw the cut of this because it's already on YouTube if you guys want to watch it, and it is beautiful. You have to experience this in high def. So check it out. We're going to have it for you very, very shortly. It's a wonderful, wonderful depiction of exactly what it's like up there.
Amen. Okay. 8:05, again, we're KUAM-FM, Agotnya, Guam. Let's go ahead and do the news now with the very latest, your 8:05 news update from the KUAM News team. Good morning, Sabrina Salas-Matanani.
Half a day, everybody. A UMATIC couple with criminal histories were arrested in connection to the death of former UMATIC Mayor Daniel Sanchez. On Sunday morning, Rudy Kanata was arrested for murder. Later in the afternoon, 32-year-old Joyner Scott Sked was also arrested. She was arrested for murder, aggravated assault as a second-degree felony, and use of a deadly weapon in the commission of a felony. Sked has a criminal history. In November of last year, she was charged with child abuse as a misdemeanor. She was arrested after a toddler was found walking unattended through a neighborhood in Sinahanya. Prior to that, in April 2020, she was arrested and charged along with Rudy Kanata for family violence when police responded to an incident in UMATIC. Kanata, as we reported, is also a repeat violent offender. He has a criminal history dating back to the 80s when he was convicted of manslaughter for the death of a U.S. Marine. The former mayor's body was found at Kanata's home. Both were booked and confined. If you have ever discharged a firearm, there's one thing other than recoil that may have caught you by surprise the first time around. And that's just how loud things can get when you pull that trigger. Now, gun owners on Guam may soon be able to cut down on a bit of that noise with lawmakers introducing a bill known as the Hearing Protection Act of 2021. Here's Peter Santos with the story.
We took a trip to JTM Sportsland Firing Range to speak with owner John Sablon to get his take on Bill 73-36. The bill would amend current law to allow for the use of a suppressor or silencer with a firearm.
My position is that the silencer has one purpose, and that's to minimize the noise level of a firearm. If you were to use the firearm in home defense or in another similar environment like a shop or a business, discharging a firearm in enclosed environment can be hazardous to your hearing. Silencers or suppressors reduce the overall noise level by 25 to 30 decibels. So it's safer in hearing.
Contrary to what Hollywood portrays, the addition of a suppressor would not make the discharge of a firearm as silent as they would have you believe. Sablon says it's just enough to make a considerable difference.
It does not eliminate the sound. It's if you watch all these movies, action-packed movies, the sound is almost whisper quiet, and that's just not true. The noise level is still up there. What it does is just reduces it to a manageable level where it's not going to be so damaging to your hearing or to the surrounding environment.
And even if the bill were to make its way into law, there's still a long road ahead before we'll see one at the shooting range. But when they are, they'll be tracked the same way as any other firearm.
First of all, you're going to have a firearms ID. Guam law requires that. So not just anybody will come in and pick up something off the shelf and walk out. And once they have that firearms ID, that's the first step. They still have to fill out an Form 7, an ATF Form 7, which is an application to own or to purchase a suppressor. That's another vetting process in itself, and if I'm not mistaken, it takes months before before the ATF comes back and approves it, and then you have to pay a fee. Once you own that suppressor, it is yours. It's registered to you. You cannot just go out and sell it to your neighbor or to anybody else. These things are tracked. They're monitored.
And according to Sablon, it's about more than one individual's hearing safety.
With the shooting range, our neighbors are just right outside our gate, less than 100 yards away, and it's going to minimize the impact, the negative impact it has on them. Their quality of life. We want we want to operate our business, and we want to do it within the law. But anything that we can do to help minimize the nuisance of the noise, we're going to do.
A public hearing on the bill is scheduled for 2 o'clock this afternoon. Public Auditor BJ Cruz is the latest elected leader to express concerns with 27 pages worth of emergency procurement and sole source purchases conducted in 2020. The report was submitted by the General Services Agency to the Guam legislature last month. It includes almost $28 million worth of emergency purchases, but lacks full descriptions of what the money was spent on, and in some instances, lines in the report were blank. Cruz says emergency procurement should have been stopped after at least 2 months, and regular procurement should have kicked back in.
I really have problems with the way that the procurement is being done with using the air quote emergency powers and using emergency procurement.
According to the public auditor, emergency procurement is used only when there is a need and there isn't adequate time and opportunity to use the regular procurement process. In March of last year, the governor declared Guam in a public health emergency, and our emergency powers kicked in to respond to the COVID crisis.
I have no problem with, the first 30, maybe even 60 days of emergency procurement from last March and April. But after that point, you had enough time there that you knew that things were going to continue, and you're going to be needing all kinds of hotels, you're going to need PPEs, you're going to be needing other kinds of things. And you should just use regular procurement procedures as per the law, and not hang your hat on the emergency that the governor continues to extend.
Cruz believes the law was intended to allow the governor to use emergency procurement for at least 60 days and then phase back into the regular procurement process.
Everybody has a fair chance of getting some of this money, that this largesse that's coming in. This can't be just all, well, I'm just going to give it to, sole source it to my Madli or my Pari or somebody that I want. It really should go through the procurement process.
In previous interviews with GSA Chief Procurement Officer Claudia Ikfaji, she maintained that everything with a year's-long worth of emergency procurement was on the up and up. Several senators, however, on both sides of the aisle have questioned some of the purchases and whether there were justifications for each purchase order. Cruz says GSA, as well as DPW, which also has procurement powers, should have put a stop to the emergency purchases after 2 months into the pandemic.
They should have advised the governor that we can at this point utilize the regular procurement process and send this out to bid, have sealed bids, and have everybody participate in this, rather than just calling somebody up and say, hey, I need this. Can you send it down? And we'll just make it an emergency procurement.
Senator Sabina Perez, who chairs the Committee on Procurement, says she plans to call an oversight hearing on the matter. The CDC over the weekend put out new guidelines. It states that fully vaccinated people can resume domestic travel and do not need to get tested before or after travel or self-quarantine after travel. Fully vaccinated people do not need to get tested before leaving the U.S. unless required by the destination, or self-quarantine after arriving back in the United States. There's no word on whether Guam will implement the new guidelines. The Joint Information Center reports that out of 104 test samples taken on April 3rd, 0 came back positive for COVID. This brings the total of officially reported cases of COVID-19 to 7,816 since March of last year. 31 cases are active, and there have been more than 7,600 recoveries. To date, there have been a total of 136 COVID-related deaths. The CAR score remains at 0.2. As far as vaccination numbers, a total of 32,177 residents are fully vaccinated. COVID-19 vaccination clinics, in the meantime, continue Tuesday, April 6th to this Saturday, the 17th, from 12 to 6:30 p.m. at the UOG Calvo Fieldhouse. Bring a digital or hard copy appointment confirmation, a photo ID, and proof of Guam residency. Those due for their second dose are reminded to bring their COVID-19 immunization card. To schedule an appointment, log on to tinyurl.com/vaccinate GU APR6-APR17. Also, a village vaccination clinic will be held at the Mongmongtotu Mighty Mayor's office today from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. until supplies last. And they will be administering the Pfizer vaccine for dose 1 and dose 2. Now, if you want to get tested, COVID-19 community testing will be held today at the Old Carnival Grounds in Teedzon from 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Public Health will offer up to 150 COVID-19 tests on a first-come, first-served basis. Only 4 people per car are allowed. No symptoms are needed to qualify for testing. Bring a photo ID. And with your news in Chamorro, here is Kin Concepcion.
Buenos tardes, este es asunto que pinut sa morgue ni KUAM News para lunes 10 de abril 2021. Marista mina segundo na tatay por ipanaytanya iginin mahotomatag Daniel Sanchez. Yagan Domingo marista si Rudy Kinata por punul si Sanchez. Italwanin Domingo, at sa namatungo ni KUAM News na marista si Joyner Scott Sked 32 anos na edad. Marista loki por murder, aggravated assault, o segundo degrado na felony, ganyan na serbi ang mas mamuno ngayto sa community felony. Si Sked sa istorya kriminal, November gimampas sa sakan maasaki po rin na busang patgon no misdemeanor. Marista ni masadong patgon neni mamamukad na may sa sinmatendi gisang sumsinahan niya. Anti diazo gyabrit na mes maresta sa Kinata. Sa masaki no ipetong familia ni mamarespondi polisiya giza umatag. Según ni dokumento ni Gotti, gwini na kausa sa marefere si Kinata na nobyong Sked. No rin por KUAM News sesulo ko si Kinata maresta po kinatadisan empetu. Sa kaistoryan ko rin alokwe, distitati gitmin may bisento sa tsenta na dekada ani makubikta po babulon on US Marine. Gima sa sunto, imapos na sablo sa utumusina noon sa miti hafa malagong mo paronsangan por dos na totso militar anti-military build-up na by programmatic agreement. Lati sa mite esta inzunya testimonyo sa madiskrubi na di email ni mamanayin pero sa miti gini Naval Engineering Systems Command Public Affairs sa Timamachatetso. Matungo este ni grupong putehi litekjan but safe retidian anime putorita tota pero fansano gini na hinano. Linya si Maria Hernandez, member ni Putehi Litekjan, na magsentes ka siya na adso na email address at Timamachatetso. Gimismo diya na mamasangani siya na utum na diya na sinon sa miti. Lamig na member ni community da sa matulit ng niya pero masabiti na sunin niya sa tisinya. Member respondo in Naval Facilities Engineering Systems Command at NAVFAC. Ilinya na matunga por esta, daten ko matters di sa Motsuki, sa maatan esta para mafamaulit. Iling niya, por favor tuli este na abiso, na para ma-extended tempo niya para hafa umasangan. Nui publiko, hafa malagon niya, por i-dos na tiyatsu niya para i-build up. Isampyo manatong nui publiko and press release para otro na email address ni para manaserbi. Sigon in NAVFAC, este siya na toto sa para ma-designate ang pumasat dos na guma. J-011 Base Administration and Communications Building sa maskyung bibenda na lineka sa gumasimento. J-025 sa Medical Dental na Clinic no si para na guma sa kayigihan sa J-011 na guma. Turistido sa kayigihan Marine Corps Base Camp Blas no gananista maprepapara for construction no J-001B Utilities and Site Improvements. Segundo Putehi Litekjan, estido sa guma sa siyempre nafekta sa lugar na manggaygi man mahapot siya na antigo na taw-tawta sa nihagas sa sugmagwag no gagigifyun ko ansok. Yuto mo para bago na lunes, matutunan ni Department of Education at providing access to homes para PATH na programa. Bago na semana at magkwalifika na familia siya sa siya mag-receive 100% na salapi federal para mobile wireless na kosa siya. No siya kwa 50 GB na data kada mes para usapoti distance learning na programa. Sa pwede mafananan hard copy na klase manungo sa paroma na para humidity isinipot din STE PATH na programa sa siyempre sedi mega na familia siya para entra online learning mas libyano. Ang sa familia ni mamanaplika sa mga kwalifika sa siyempre fan maagang no eskwela para mas informasyon. Iparong di ilista ni Nayan Sina Matsuli ni estudyante sa ni manay na siya ay mobile hotspot device siya. Bisita sa mami website no kuam.com. Kada dia umur kesuntu sa natiklo siya ni 50 tanota gifinot sa moro. Kung giislat sa moro streaming radio gipelagon KUAM. Ano para KUAM.com sa naligaw giisibisyo siya ni napapatu ni KUAM para KUAM News wow si Kin Concepcion.
Can we now head over to the National Weather Service to check in with Landon Idolette with your work week weather forecast. Good morning, Landon. Good to see you're still
Good
on
morning,
Guam.
Happy Easter.
And not
I
moving.
am still in here.
You totally got me.
Oh, that was a good one last week, wasn't it?
It was good. I really thought you
And, yeah.
were leaving, and I had put it in our chat for the link, and I was like, oh my gosh, Landon is leaving. And then of course Jason's like,
Yeah,
oh,
for-
April Fools.
Yeah, April Fools. So yeah, for everybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, I put a little post on my Facebook page last week that I was accepting a job to run the National Weather Service Office of Inclement and Ridiculous Weather. And so it was the perfect job. And it was my lifelong dream for 2 weeks since I made it up that morning. So yeah, there we go. So long story short, I'm here to stay for a little while longer, at least. No
right.
move to Washington for me. In the weather, we do have a lot to talk about. There's been a lot of development the last week or so within the world of weather. Does that mean a threat for us in Guam and the CNMI? Not so much, but there are some changes in the broader regional weather. For us, it's been very dry here at the National Weather Service here in Tijan, but elsewhere across Guam, we did have showers and thunderstorms. You remember on Thursday, I think Thursday and Friday, we had some showers over western parts of the island and then thunderstorms off over the western waters, just off of Vigania and Tumon Bays and Erode Point. Easter Sunday, we had some showers over Agate, but here it was dry at the office, but there were several inches of rainfall. What was that? That's what we call island convection. I'll get into that once we go to the slides, but let me turn the camera over to our animated loop. This is our visible, and now that we are broadcasting at 8:30 in the morning, I have some visible animation to show you now that we have daylight. Normally I am eating lunch about this time on Mondays, but this time change, I get to sleep in until 3 o'clock on Monday mornings now. It's great. So this is the visible. We have some upper and mid-level cloudiness that is gradually burning off, but then we have the low-level trade wind cumulus clouds pushing off from the east to the southeast over the island. Just some spotty showers with that, but we're going to flip over to the infrared, which shows us more of a continuous animated loop. And again, this is showing the void of deep convection and thunderstorms. So it's pretty easy going for the Mariana Islands. Once we zoom out, we are seeing that convection far to our south. And this is the area that I'll be talking about later in this broadcast. There's a lot of speculation on some of the numerical forecast models has been hinting at some tropical development in the next 1 to 2 weeks. The social media world, any weather enthusiasts in the social media world, they are picking up on this. And so you might be looking at different Facebook pages that are saying, oh my gosh, there's going to be a tropical cyclone somewhere in the region in the next couple of days. And that is a possibility. Is it going to be a threat for Guam and the CNMI? Not so much, but it's something that we will have to watch in the days to come. So this is what's going on in the region right now. Not so bad for us. Light winds. This would be kind of a island convective possibility in the next week or so with our light winds, but then the tropics could get a little bit active. I don't usually like to show the numerical forecast models because we have to, again, cipher through the gibberish, and then we put out our best available forecast to the public. And I will warn you, when you see this next frame, don't panic because this is not certainty. This is just a forecast model. And in 6 hours, it will change. What I will be showing you are the differences between the American model and the European model. One model shows one scenario 10 days out. The other model shows a scenario 10 days out. And you can compare. This is what one of our models is showing us. This is showing a tropical cyclone. There's Guam and a cyclone south of us. But if we go to the other model, there's nothing there. It's a light trade wind flow of the island with a weaker system over Palau. So when you toggle between the two, you see the vast differences in the numerical forecast models. So when you're seeing social media pages and people are threatening typhoons in the region in 5 or 10 days, remember this is a numerical weather model forecast. And these changes occur every 6 hours when a new forecast model is run. So there's going to be some change. And again, both of these frames are showing a 10-day scenario. So a lot of time for things to modify. Going back to the satellite, the Joint Typhoon Warning Center does not have an invest on this area, but there is a weak circulation there. Currently no invest, but it's a weak circulation. It's going to take us time to get it back together. It's a matter of if, not so much when. Once we start seeing some consolidation, then we'll have a better feel about the timeline and where it's going to track. But for us in Guam, not so much a threat. So Jason, go ahead and cue up the slides, and we're going to start going through the current forecast scenario. So for the headlines, there is a moderate risk of rip currents. That's standard for this time of the year with the east trade wind swell. The Guam fire danger remains high as our rainfall remains minimal, but that's average for this time of the year. Currently, Saipan and Tinian, they remain in moderate drought with wetter conditions here in Guam and Rota. For Micronesia, no alerts at the time. Extreme drought remains for the Northern Marshall Islands. Kapinga Maringi did receive much needed rainfall in the last couple of weeks, so their drought conditions improved. So that's good news for them, and moderate drought for Kwajalein. So the next slide, the current conditions, we are currently at about 80 degrees, east to southeast winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. We're not going to see much change in the winds in the next several days to a week. So that's going to keep our slight chance for island convection to pop up over the island. I'll get more into that in the next couple of frames. Partly to mostly cloudy skies with a few light showers. Not that bad. Those mid and upper level clouds are starting to burn off. Current temperature 79 degrees. Rainfall, we had no rainfall here at the office yesterday, but some of our rain gauges showed upwards of 2 to 3 inches of rain along western Guam, particularly near Agate. So that was part of the island convection, some of the flare-ups on the western side of the island. Rainfall since April 1st, above normal, and since January 1st, 8.7 inches when we're normally about 12.6 inches. So we're a little bit below for the year. The next slide, this is what I want to get into about the island convection. What do we mean by island convection? In the daytime, the land warms up faster than the air. So if you see the top left corner picture, you see that warm air rising over the land. That builds the clouds. And with enough growth, development, and moisture in the atmosphere, that can result in rainfall, heavy rainfall, and showers and thunderstorms. This is what can cause those flash flood conditions along the hiking trails, creeks, and rivers in central and southern Guam that catch people by surprise. At nighttime, that pattern reverses. And again, this is typically in a light wind scenario. So you have a land breeze at night, the sea breeze at the daytime, and that's where you have your development over the island. So when we have light winds or no winds at all, especially in the coming months, this is what we have to be aware of. And how do you tell when this is happening? Well, you see the dark, low cloud bases with a tall vertical column of clouds on top of that. Once I start putting out the showers, that's where you can have some problems under that cloud base. And it can be bone dry and sunny at one location, but 2 miles down the street, heavy rainfall, you can get anywhere from 1 to 4 inches of rain in a short period of time. So that's what we have to watch out for the next several months. The next slide that shows different wind scenarios. So if we have a light east wind, that development will be typically over western Guam, the western coastal waters, including Aroti Point, Navy Base Guam, off of Tuman Bay and Agana Bay. With a light southwest wind, this is typical of a light monsoonal pattern. You can get those developments over the island and then up towards Anderson, Jigo, and towards the Rota Channel. And then for the light and variable wind patterns, those winds will come light from across all over the island, onshore, and you get that developed right over the spine of the island. That's where you have your showers and thunderstorms and a really good chance for flash flooding potential. Again, this is not a 100% chance in these wind conditions because you need other factors in place, whether you have vertical wind shear, change in wind speed and direction aloft, and you also need that moisture content. So right now, the next slide shows the winds over the ocean surface. We do have about 10 knots of wind over the coastal waters and east of us, lighter winds to our north. And that little black box around Guam and Sinai, that's just showing where we are. It's not, oh my gosh, we got a box around us. That means something's going on. No, I'm just depicting where we are. That orange box to our south, that is where I want to say that people within this box do need to pay closer attention to what's going on in Western Micronesia with that center of circulation. That's a very weak circulation at this time. Certainly no major impacts at this time other than showers and thunderstorms across the outer islands of Chuuk and Yap states. Again, this is going to be a development over the next 1 to 2 weeks that we'll have to watch out for. And again, the primary threats are going to be more for Yap and Palau beyond this weekend. So something to watch, but not be concerned about. The next slide that shows the Joint Typhoon Warning Center active storms page. No suspect areas in the Western Pacific at this time. And that will probably remain unchanged, at least for the next couple of days until this circulation does get its act together. And it's more so likely to occur later this week. The next slide, that is our Ritidian buoy. Seas are about 4 to 6 feet with a northeast swell. That's going to flatline in the coming days with these light winds. So we're going to see seas about 4 to 5 feet through most of the week. And again, about 5 feet at the Ritidian buoy earlier this morning, primarily on northeast swell. So the week ahead, partly to mostly sunny skies today with isolated showers. Winds will be southeast at 10 miles per hour, becoming light through the day. Combined seas at 4 to 6 feet and southeast winds of 5 to 10 knots over the waters. Surf with a moderate rip risk at east 5 to 7 feet and lesser surf across the north reefs, west reefs, and south reefs. Midweek, we are looking at more showers and isolated thunderstorms beginning tonight through Tuesday night with a weak trade wind disturbance passing over the island. Nothing too exciting there. We could probably see the rain chances decrease just a little bit as we go through the day. Improving weather for the last half of the week. Winds will be light and variable. So again, we have that small chance of island convection. So watch out for that. Combined seas 4 to 5 feet and a drier weekend ahead. So finally, the drought situation. Again, abundant rainfall across most of Micronesia. Abnormally dry drought conditions for Guam and Rota, and moderate drought for Saipan and Tinian. And not much change for the week ahead. So that's all I've got for you today. Any questions?
Yeah, I wanted to follow up on those two models you showed. It's still 10 days out, and it would be updated in 6 hours. You said one was the American model, and then the other one was a European model? Right?
That's correct.
Okay.
So we have what's called the Global Forecast System, the GFS, and the European is the ECMWF. So those are more of the two more popular models, but there's many more numerical models out there that also put out forecasts.
Which model showed that development near Guam?
Yeah, that was the American model that shows that development. And the thing to know is some models handle different situations differently from others. And the American model is notorious for spinning things up more aggressively. And that's what we're seeing right here in the numerical forecast. So we have to take that into account. Okay. And that's why we like to counter any kind of information going on social media from other pages and other people, is they see this in the model and say, oh, this is going to happen in 5 or 10 days. But that's just the way one model handles the situation. So even though we're seeing that in this forecast model right now, that's not necessarily going to be what pans out in the future. Right. So we have to take that with a grain of salt. And that's why the forecasters are here to go through the gibberish and put out the best available forecast.
So between the two, which one do you guys kind of lean more toward?
As far as intensity, we're leaning more toward the European, the ECMWF. That usually handles the beginning stages of development the best. But really it depends on when that circulation starts to get its act together and starts to consolidate. Then we start seeing that motion. And then that's when we start getting our communication strategy here at the National Weather Service and putting out information publicly. So right now it's something that we're watching, and the models have been spinning this thing up for at least the last several days. So when we see that, we know that things will ramp up at some point. It's just a matter of when. But the threat for us, very minimal for Guam. So that's the good news.
All right. Thank you so much, Landon.
Thank you, Landon.
Always.
Hopefully you get
Happy
to
Easter.
sleep in a little bit with this new weather time we're doing.
Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe. All right. Hey, appreciate it, my friend.
Always.
Happy Easter. Landon Adelet from the National Weather Service with your work week weather, which now happens around 8:20-ish on weekday mornings here. Good morning again to our viewers on KUAM TV 11. I think we look pretty good after 8 in the morning. 6 in the morning, I was a little worried because there might have been a stray mugu here or there, but by 8, I've washed my face a couple times. I'm good to go. Morning, Jay.
Good morning.
Sabrina,
I kind of preferred you with like the Morning Glory.
A little bit, right?
Mughal becomes you.
That sounds like a cool sticker. Mughal becomes you. We're going to take a quick break, and we're coming back with Labor Director Dave De La Sola next, right here on The Link. Good morning.
Learn more about...
When we throw things away, where is away? What happens to our waste, and where does it go? As a community of small islands, the waste crisis is a large issue we want to bring into focus. Micronesia Climate Change Alliance presents From Our Nanas for Our Nennies, a video series about taking a holistic view of our present, finding wisdom from our past, and inspiring a better future. Airing every week during Earth Month, brought to you by Humanities Guahan and the National Endowment for the Humanities.
GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867 for more information.
Get the job done the right way by getting the right stuff at East West Rental Center. With years of experience helping builders, we definitely got what you need. Call 646-1463 or visit us in Upper Tumon. Open Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Sundays from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Only one company on Guam provides every solar energy solution under one roof. Micronesia Renewable Energy. You want solar only? They got that. You want solar with batteries? They got that too. You want outright purchase or lease purchase? It's up to you. Does your solar system need a tune-up? That's what they do. For solar energy solutions from A to Z, you can count on MRE. Give them a call at 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, providing real solar solutions built by real solar experts.
The relationship between Guam and Manila, Philippines is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage, with generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by the Bank of Guam and KFC.
Uno Go, delivering meals from your favorite restaurants and more, including delivering sodas and adult beverages from the Bottle Shack. Visit uno-go.com or download the app today. Also follow them on Instagram and Facebook.
Looking for TV schedules, upcoming sports, or special presentations, or what you may have missed over the busy week you had? Well, look no further than KUAM Digital Digest. This weekly emailed newsletter puts all kinds of information in the hands of subscribers each and every week. Just subscribe and we will make sure you keep up with your favorites and stay informed and entertained throughout it all. Go to KUAM.com, click on the newsletter tab, give us your email address, and you are all set. Brought to you in digital partnership with King's Restaurant and Ruby Tuesday Guam. It's the KUAM Digital Digest, your weekly guide to the latest information and best entertainment on the stations and platforms of KUAM.
I'm feeling really proud. I am an enemy. I am an enemy. I don't know what to say. Breaking me every day. I am an enemy. I am an enemy. Yeah, 2 shots down, 3 shots gone, and you know that I will do everything and show you what it means, and show you what it means. Singing, show you what it means like.
Daryl Garcia, who are you? 838. My name's Chris. Sabrina Salas Mantanani. Jason Solis. Mike V. On the ones and twos. The show is proudly brought to you by East West Rental. Carrier at 647 QL. Calvo Enterprises. IT&E. And Jack in the Box, guys. Let's go have a meaty Monday. What do you think? I know you probably meted out on Easter yesterday. My mom, for example, gave up rice and meat for the whole Lent. So Sunday morning breakfast was bacon, fried rice, and a fried egg. And then I made her short ribs for dinner. So you guys meet it out here with Jack in the Box, proud to sponsor The Link with a triple bonus jacket. It's back, a returning favorite. Jack's triple bonus. Jack combo is everything you need to indulge. Add a patty. Why not? Make it a quad for $1 more, Jay. Can you handle a quad?
I think I could take another patty for $1.
I could, too. Sounds like lunch. Thank you, Jack in the Box. 8:39. Let's head into the Zoom room where we have Dave Della Sola, Labor Director, standing by here with our labor update. Good morning, Dave. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter to you guys. I hope you guys are had a nice weekend. I enjoyed mine. Thank you.
Did you have 50 at your Easter?
No.
I know.
Only had about 10.
I keep telling these guys I was like 50, man. I'm hard with like 5. And
I'm not that popular to get 50 people.
Yeah, Dave. Oh, you're pretty popular last week. There was a release you guys had sent out about little Tommy's doing a delivery over to the Poo and the FPUC staff, Dave.
Yeah. That was really caught us by surprise and very special. I eat there, quite often when I try to get a slice, because I can run in there, get a quick slice, and get out of there in 10, 15 minutes and be back to work. And I always enjoyed it. I missed doing that since this whole pandemic. But he just was so thankful because his business is surviving because of PUA. And I just, out of the blue, he came by with all those pizza pies for those 311 and the PUA staff over at the AJC, and boy, did they have a good time with that. So I just wanted to thank him special for doing that so unexpectedly. And, it's nice that the staff feel appreciated, because a lot of times on the other end of the phone, it's never pleasant. So when people are delayed in getting their monies and this and that, but we keep doing it. We keep cranking it out. And last the 30th, we batched 13.3 million, which was a little low. And then I found out that they only batched claims up to the 20th of March. So we were a week short of our normal batching, which was usually the Saturday before the Tuesday. So that's another reason why it was a little short. They only wanted to catch 1 week of the new Tier 3 program, the Biden program, just to make sure that we didn't have any major issues with it, because transitioning claims from Tier 2 to the Tier 3 was a lot of work behind closed door. And I am happy to say that everything went fairly well, other than your usual small little issues, but everything went well. So next Tuesday, the 13th, we will be batching, but this time we'll batch all the way up to the 10th of April, all claims, because that's the last week ending. So that should be a healthy batch, I would predict, if, when we do that. So I'm quite happy with the results of the transition to the ARPA, the American Relief Plan Act, something like that. That's what we call Tier 3, that transition. The challenge was trying to get exhausted claims re-established and added the new weeks, because the original was 39, then it went 50, and now it's 79 weeks, which will take us through September 4th. And hopefully it'll be, smooth sailing here on out for that program, which is $345 for PUA and $300 for the FPUC. So $645 a week that'll be going out all the way through September. That's a healthy amount of money to keep people, sustained until they get back to work.
Right. As we start to reopen the island, and it's pretty busy out here, Dave. What type of exodus are we seeing from PUA and FPUC?
Well, we've been so busy just with the transition. I think with this next batch, we can get a better sense of the numbers. Because, like I said, it was cut short on the 20th when we batched on the 30th of March. And just the whole transitioning and working behind the closed doors to make sure everything went smoothly was a monumental task. We got it out the same time as the states, and it went smoothly. So hold that question for 2 weeks from now after we run the next batch, and I can take a look at the data and see how those numbers come up.
When you talked about the staff fielding a lot of calls, sometimes from irate customers, I guess you could say. Have you guys taken those steps to improve that, answering the phones and getting back to people? Because, usually when we have you on, people say, oh, they can't get through, but I haven't seen those comments in the last couple times you came on, so just wasn't sure where we at with that.
Well, we are constantly striving. I think one of the biggest things is that we got a constant staff that are working. Before, what you didn't know is that we had so many out because of contact tracing and problems that, on average, we lose 3-4 staff just because of exposures. That has seemed to subside, and we seem to have the constant full staff available. We also have Jotnya Library and the Dedido Library open, so those are running smoothly. So knock on wood, we keep continuing to have full staff, and we now that we're transitioning to the third, hopefully once we help those people with issues, they'll be good all the way through the rest of the program. So we're knocking out slowly but surely these claimants with problems, and we continue to keep working and fixing them, and we'll catch up and things will get better. I'm confident.
Are you guys still seeing a lot of people trying to fraud the system, or is it kind of slowed down?
I think it's kind of slowed down, and I'm hoping that it is attributed to the press releases of the, nothing's, and that was the whole thing, why we pushed it with the FBI and the AG's office. We wanted to show the island that, this is a federal funds, and, frauding the federal government isn't to be taken lightly. So I'm hoping that that was a deterrent to everybody that, just be honest, and there's lots of money there. We're pretty easy in giving it out. As long as you qualify, we will do our best to make sure that, we get the money to you. So, let's not take advantage of the system and try to get more claims than what's necessary. So, yeah, I think it's quieted down a little bit, but, that doesn't mean that it's still not there. We've been busy trying to, like I say, transition to the new period, the new tier 3. So once that's all running smoothly, we'll circle around and start auditing again and start to check and see if there's, any more activities of fraud going on.
We had a couple comments here. What to do if you went to Dedido Library to file a claim? Lot said in progress for 2 weeks, and now it says no record. What do we do?
Say that again. It said what in 2 weeks?
Went to Dedido Library to file a claim. It said in progress for 2 weeks, and now it says no record.
Oh, that I've never heard. And go back to Dedido and get fixed, or give us a call. Maybe through the transition between tier 2 to tier 3, some glitches or some issues have occurred. Very small amount. But, when you're dealing with tens of thousands of claims, anything can happen when it comes to a computer system. So as long as she has all her paperwork and stuff, it should be easy to fix. And I don't go in and fix claims. So it's hard for me to kind of armchair it.
Right. We had another one here. Quick question. How about the pay date from the 30th for us who haven't exhausted our 50th week? We haven't received any direct deposit yet. Thank you.
The money hit the banks today. I think you have to, it takes us a little bit more time when we went from the tier 2 to the tier 3 when we batched that 13 million. We were a little bit more diligent in confirming these numbers and making sure, because, you know, we have 3 numbers. We have the PUA, the FPUC, and the LWA, and we transitioned from the tier 2 to tier 3. So we had to pull up those reports and make sure that the numbers were solid and well. So I was told this morning that the drawdown hit the banks. So they should be getting it today or maybe tomorrow. Okay. So, you know, depending on what bank you have. So, you know, when everything runs smoothly, you might get it Friday, Saturday. But when some things take a little bit longer, it's usually on a Monday that we you know, the money hits the banks. So look for it any day this week. It should be flowing out.
David, just wanted to ask before we let you go. We interviewed Ken LaGuardia from the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers regarding this federal contract. I'm sure you're familiar with the situation, but he had said that they had filed a complaint with the National Labor Relations Board. And I want to say he said something about also reaching out to USDOL. Has your office been contacted by the union? And if so, or the speaker or anybody?
You know, the speaker wrote out to us, and this would be a USDOL, Patrick Candeletta issue, and not something that would, you know, it could cross our path, but we would bow to him first. And we're in partnership. We have a great MOU working together through the PUA. Some of the wage and hour cases that were filed, we gave to him because we were just so, you know, inundated getting PUA out. So that would go to him, and unless he would punt it to us, but it is a USDOL issue. And I know that they're on top of it, and I'm aware of it, and I've been watching it and monitoring it and keeping a close eye to see if there is anything that our office can do. But as it stands now, it's with USDOL.
Okay. So the wage and hour complaints, maybe I'll just check you offline on that. But I know that you guys are doing a lot of it as PUA and FPUC, but do you still get like complaints that fall under your regular?
Everything is still being handled business as usual. We're just double timing it. Our wage and hour people are taking complaints. It is actually, you know, a little bit more activity than normal, and they're being looked at and being handled. And like I said, and when in between all that, they're helping out with the adjudications for PUA. So everybody's wearing multiple hats here, and we continue to do that 6 days a week. And everything, I'm happy to say, is being handled.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, guys.
Call us over for the next pizza party. We'll do a link on location.
Sure.
Okay.
I would love to do that. I didn't even get any of the pizza. The staff got it all.
Oh, that's good. Right on. Okay, Dave.
All right.
Thanks. Appreciate your
safe.
time.
Thanks, guys.
Happy Easter again. Dave De La Sola, Labor Director, 853 Earth Month. Sabrina?
Yes, and I guess before we go to Paul, if he's still coming on.
He's running a little bit late.
Okay, well, thanks
we have
for
time.
the update. All right.
I just got it.
So we are doing a series for April. It's called Dirty Politics here on the link, where we're going to various problems, illegal dumps, and speaking with our elected leaders just to get their solutions to the problem of illegal dumping. And so our first segment, we take you to the village of Chico.
Dirty Politics, part of the Sustainability Matters Initiative, brought to you by Green Energy Solutions, Inc.
All right, off today, link on location. for Dirty Politics, Sabrina. And tell us just right off the bat a little bit about this segment we're doing for Earth Month called Dirty Politics.
So this segment is we're going around to different villages. We're meeting with mayors and senators, talking trash, really. And what's being done, obviously illegal dumping, I guess you could say it's kind of like a pandemic. Every time, a cleanup is held, the next day, it's dirty again. And this particular area of Jigo, I know I've been to cleanups here, covered stories here, and cleanups actually, and it looks the same, like it was never clean. And somebody that knows all about it is the mayor of Jigo. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sabrina. Yes, you are correct. I mean, it's just an ongoing problem in this area. We've did huge cleanups here 2-3 times, and it's just back to the same thing. I mean, senators here, EPA is here, so hopefully we can get together and find a solution to try and solve this problem, because it seems like whatever we're doing right now, trying to clean up, it's just not working, so something has to change.
Mayor Sanchez, so you were a vice mayor under former Mayor Rudy Matanani for 8 years. You're heading into 4 years under mayor. How far back does this problem stretch? Because I don't know if it's just me, but I like to think when we were younger, we didn't see this kind of thing.
I would say maybe 4 years, 5 years, maybe longer. Yeah. So the last time we were here was when they had the incident with the girls had passed away down here. I mean, it wasn't like this. So that was, I would say, maybe 4, 5, 6 years ago. So it wasn't like this. So after that, I guess when people knew more about this area, they decided, oh, let's go in here because it's not lit. We can throw our trash in here, nobody's gonna see us, so that's.
And I wanted to just highlight the fact that what you're looking at right here, you can see the trash just right here, but this isn't it. This is just the starting point, right, Mayor? The illegal dumping, it goes all the way down the street.
Yes, it does. All the way down, you've got a dirt road down here to the right where there's some abandoned vehicles, burned vehicles, and you've got some white goods to the left that we've cleaned up before. So, it's, I don't know what we could do to rectify this problem. I mean, we got to come up with a solution, or else, I mean, this is a health hazard for the whole island, because this is the waterland. This is where majority of the people of Guam get their water from. So we got to find a solution.
Right. And let's bring in Guam EPA. Excuse me. Hi, Nick and Glenn, St. Nicholas. Glenn, you're with the Solid Waste Management?
I'm with the Solid Waste Management Program.
And this is something you guys see, not just here in Jigo. Let's come over here. Not just here in Jigo, but illegal dumping is just a really bad problem all around the island, right?
Yes, it's nothing new to the different villages. They have their little areas where illegal dumping is very prevalent as a result of, negligence and people's lifestyle choices.
Has a notice of violation ever been issued for the illegal dumping that's been going on here on Chalon Ramirez?
Well, we did a cleanup a number of years ago with Senator San Augustine's office, and we actually issued a number of citations from the debris that was found on site. So in a site like this, we end up going through the bags. If we don't find any evidence, then basically we refer it to the mayor's office for cleanup. If we do find information leading to an alleged violator, then we would issue a citation to the individual.
And what is the penalty for illegal dumping?
So there's the litter citation, and there's the solid waste litter act. Basically, on the solid waste side of the house, where illegal dumping is up to $1,000 per day per violation. In this case, there's 3 violations, so at a minimum, up to $3,000 per day per violation. For a litter citation, it starts off with $200, and then it increases thereafter, along with community service, and that's paid to the courts. The courts would process that. So if they contest it, they have to see a judge, and they have to explain the reason why, and they subpoena the officer, and the officer also has to explain the reason for issuing the citation.
So do you spend a lot of time in court kind of following up on some of these busts that you do? Because, I mean, guys, in case you don't know, this guy gets his hands dirty. I mean, he's not just coming here, and directing things. I mean, he's going in this trash. He's finding mail from these people who dump this stuff. And I guess, so do you spend a lot of time kind of following through with this? And then also, like, who's doing this dumping? Because mayor seems to think that it's people from outside of the village that are coming all the way up here to Jigo to dump stuff?
To answer the first question, we do issue citations, and oftentimes, it's contested, at which time we'll get subpoenaed and we have to basically defend our case. But we've been pretty good lately. Judge Season's been processing a lot of the information based on our evidence and our cases, so we've been pretty good about that. And we've been getting a lot of, footage from residents with cameras that definitely helps us out. So we run the plates, we'll get the last known registered owner, and sometimes they're not registered vehicles to the last registered owner. So we end up having to track these individuals down. But the courts have a mechanism in place that if we do issue the citation, they have a tracking mechanism. They put it on their website that these are the people that has not paid their citations. So they have a process in trying to get those guys.
I think for me, though, having been here a few times, it really is frustrating. It kind of really pisses me off that we see this. And again, it's not just here. And I can only imagine how it makes you feel with the Guam EPA.
Yes, I was just mentioning that, one of the joys is actually coming to a site like this, finding violators, and then having the site cleaned up. What the frustration is coming back the following month or following months, and it's back to the same old, status. So yeah, it's very frustrating in our part. But I think that individuals need to take responsibility for themselves and just do the right thing. You're mentioning about the mayor was mentioning about possibly outsiders coming into their village. You can most likely drive around and you're going to see that there's a lot of houses in this area that don't have trash service. So what are they doing with their trash service? So I like to think that it's a combination of the residents in the area that maybe live in a different part of Jigo coming into this area, or just those who don't have, trash service, just not caring and just disposing it off at the wayside.
So that being said, at what point do you think the government has to offer service? I mean, even even subsidizing the cost of service, or at what point do we just make the service mandatory? Because I remember we were talking that when they look at the number of people who get power and water utilities, only about 30% of those people are solid waste subscribers. So that means you've got 70% of the people who are receiving utilities not having any type of trash service. And I'm sure some of that is maybe people who are living in places where it's included in the lease, but I don't think that really addresses what we see out here.
Yeah, you're right. This is, I want to say it's a result of people who don't have trash service, because it's just easier for a person to take their trash out to the front of their house, put it in their trash bin along with their recyclables, and not have to deal with this. People are going out of their way to take it to an isolated area, and as you can see, some areas they actually burn so that, to get rid of any evidence that may be in the bags themselves. Okay. And this is just not trash, it's also white goods, it's also abandoned vehicles. They burn cars. I don't know why, but they just do.
Well, I tell you what we're going to do, like I mentioned earlier, this is just the starting point of the massive illegal dumping here along Chalon Ramirez. We're going to take you further down the road, and we're going to check in, we're going to speak, talk trash with the oversight chair of the Guam Environmental Protection Agency, Senator Sabina Perez.
Illegal dumping, the disease, let's talk the cure. Policy-wise, Senator Sabina Perez, of course, the environment oversight of the 36th Guam legislature. What can we do from a policy standpoint to address this long-standing issue on Guam?
Yes, Chris. So first of all, I just think it's really disheartening to see these illegal dumps. And, as far as policy is concerned, it's going to take a multi-pronged approach. And I think it's becoming more true that we have to work on the front end. Enforcement is important, but I think we have to go towards the route of island-wide pickups, residential pickups. This would definitely alleviate a lot of this, I believe. The other thing that I've introduced in the past term, and I would like to reintroduce, is the updating the Recycling Revolving Fund to help with the the illegal dumping. So that's something I would like to sit down with all the stakeholders Guam EPA, the mayor's offices, Guam Solid Waste Authority, and looking how we can reprogram that fund to assist with these efforts. So anything we can do, I think, in the front end is going to be really critical in alleviating this, and I'm committed to doing that policy work in the near future, the very near future.
So I've talked with Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio about this issue many times, and one of the ideas that he's floated around is, free dump days where you guys get the trash bin and you put it out at a trouble area like this, and you just, the government eats the cost, and you encourage people to come out and dump whatever they have to do. I know EPA used to do it back in the day with the white goods and other, household paints and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, to me, that just seems like a real simple, first wave solution that we can do. How feasible is that for you?
I think that's very feasible. I mean, I think it's going to take a lot more money to do the curbside collections. Again, we're going to have to sit down with Guam Solid Waste because I know that would maybe perhaps be sort of problematic for them if, we want to get people on the curbside collection. Versus, circumventing that. So the more we can move towards that, I think the better.
Right, and that's kind of like the catch-22 of it, is that you have a lot of people who are not on the trash service, but this problem requires more from solid waste. But if people aren't paying into the program, then the funding's just not there.
Yeah, that's correct. And I imagine it's, as far as the infrastructure is concerned, it's perhaps it's less expensive to have a dumpster here versus implementing an island-wide program, but I do want to work with all stakeholders to come up with a sustainable solution.
Right, and you see, maybe a little more of a long-term solution is changing the mindset, and you can see like the younger generation is very keen on, think green, recycling, climate change. But what kind of work do we do to change the mindset of, these aren't kids dumping this stuff, right? These are kids' parents, So they just don't obviously give a damn about the environment. So from, we've got the policy side, right? But, marketing, messaging, changing that mindset that it's okay to just dump your trash, down a dark road. How do we win that war?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the more I get involved in the issues, learning about the issues, I'm seeing that there's some ties to drugs. And, a lot of this environmental issues is connected to the drug addiction in our community. So we need a holistic approach to this. So yeah, you're right. If we have to change the culture is what's going to, if we have a good culture as far as everybody looks after, takes the responsibility for their own mess and their own trash, that's really what's going to solve the problem. We can do all the infrastructure, we can invest in all the infrastructure, and we might still have that problem if people are not don't have that buy-in to participate in a more environmental, being more environmental and having more of a stewardship approach.
Right, and it just seems to have changed, and I'm glad that we're taking corrective action now to kind of like realign everybody with just these holistic environmental philosophies and approaches. But I hate to go back to when I was a kid, but we drank soda in the bottles, we collected cans. Me and my cousins, we would be picking aluminum cans out of trash cans, taking them down, cashing them in, even with the bottles. But as the worldwide recycling is really trailed off, you can't really do that anymore. But I just see that when I was growing up, it was important to us, and somehow it's been lost in translation for, it seems like a whole generation.
Yeah, absolutely. Even we were brought up that way. We actually swept our neighbor's yard, so it's we looked after each other. So.
You took pride. You were about to say we took pride in where we're from, and that's what really I see here is like people are not proud, and then it affects the kids too. Can you imagine walking to your bus stop on your way to school, walking past all this trash? How are you going to feel good about yourself when you're walking past this? How are you going to think that you're worth something when the environment you're living in says that you're not?
Yeah, and this is our home, and would you trash your own home? And I just want people to think of it that way. This is your own backyard. Have some pride. Take responsibility. I think that's really critical, and yeah. And I think the government's here to help, but we all need to work together.
There you go. Let's bring Guam EPA and Mayor Sanchez back in here. I wanted to talk to just Guam EPA real quick because this is about, it's not just an eyesore issue, right? Yeah, it's ugly, it stinks. There's a serious and real environmental impact to all of these illegal dumps, from the household waste to the abandoned vehicles to the white goods. So let's talk a little bit about what that impact is, Glenn.
Well, we're over the northern aquifer, and as everybody knows, this is our sole source aquifer that we need to protect. And as you can see by this burnt vehicle, the burning of this vehicle probably emitted a lot of toxic fumes into the air. Not knowing the exact constituents, they may have had fuel that may have leaked onto the ground or may have been burnt out. But all these things are factors to consider to protect our northern aquifer, and that's why we have the Recycling Revolving Fund via the Mayor's Council of Guam, the abandoned vehicle collection process. So the vehicles like this should not have happened. It's just a matter of calling up the mayor's office and getting on their waiting list to get these vehicles removed at the cost of the registered owners of vehicles that they pay into the Recycling Revolving Fund. So if you own a car, you paid for the service, so just avail to the service. Contact your nearest mayor and register with them.
Just to reiterate what Glenn said, so the agency is in the process of getting the additional MOA routed for signatures. The board did approve the release.
It is undeniable as we share similar cultural traditions, history, and heritage, with generations of Filipinos calling Guam home. KUAM presents a monthly look at the capital city, featuring in-depth and engaging interviews on everything from medical tourism to new business and government leaders. Veteran newscaster Nestor Lecanto delivers Beyond Our Borders. This special program is brought to you by the Bank of Guam and KFC.
Uno Go, delivering meals from your favorite restaurants and more, including delivering sodas and adult beverages from the Bottle Shack. Visit uno-go.com or download the app today. Also follow them on Instagram and Facebook.
Looking for TV schedules, upcoming sports, or special presentations, or what you may have missed over the busy week you had? Well, look no further than KUAM Digital Digest. This weekly emailed newsletter puts all kinds of information in the hands of subscribers each and every week. Just subscribe and we will make sure you keep up with your favorites and stay informed and entertained throughout it all. Go to KUAM.com, click on the newsletter tab, give us your email address, and you are all set. Brought to you in digital partnership with King's Restaurant and Ruby Tuesday Guam. It's the KUAM Digital Digest, your weekly guide to the latest information and best entertainment on the stations and platforms of KUAM.